at the moment, which will prevent them from proceeding forward with a launch until that leak
Hello,
is
YouTube.
ready.
Um,
Again, this red crew
this
is
is
inside the area,
Jordan
inside the
White.
blast danger area,
Um,
looking inside the mobile
I
launcher,
am pulling an
pulling
all-nighter.
down those nuts
Something I have never
that are
done
associated with the
since
replenishment
college.
of
My
liquid
senior
hydrogen
project in
solid propellant
college.
stage.
And
Of
for a
course, we'll keep you
very
updated
special reason.
on the operation. In the meantime, I'll send it back to Megan.
Come on. So sorry. Well, what's happening here is that on this TV, we are going to see a very massive rocket launch from launch complex 39A, 39B, at the NASA Cape Kennedy Space Center in Florida. That rocket, right on the TV there, is going to launch off the pad and is going to head over to the moon. When it goes to the moon, it's going to do a little test flight. Now, the reason this is important is we intend to plan on getting the first woman and the first person of color. I don't know why they would call it color, because, if you use that, it's kind of, I don't know, I just don't want to offend people. But the first woman, the first person of color, POC or whatever the heck you want to call it, is going to land on the moon in 2025. Now, for the female part, like the first woman on the moon, I have for the first woman on the moon, I intend to go onto the launch complex. No, not the launch complex, but I want to at least greet the astronauts as they go out that door with a sign that has Bing Bong on it, saying, "Take Artemis, take her to the moon for me, okay?" And if you're not really too familiar with that, I'll tell you. Bing Bong is the like the elephant character, like the imaginary friend in Inside Out that Riley manages to make up and to at least have fun with as a kid. But then as she approaches 12 or something like that, she starts to forget about Bing Bong, and Bing Bong has an intent desire to help take Riley to the moon with some imagination. And you should probably go see that Pixar movie. It's now streaming on Disney Plus. It's actually pretty touching. You might want to get out some tissues. It's actually one of those moments where it's like, oh my gracious, Bing Bong is taking her to the moon. Well, I am going to watch this unmanned test flight launch. I'm gonna watch this unmanned test flight go off at 1:04 or 1:34 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that thing is going to light up the Florida night sky, almost like a big, I don't know, bright light, like as if heaven is coming down onto Earth and the light is bringing up to the darkness. This is just a broadcast, but I'm gonna be live streaming my reaction to this. This is the launch, and I've been waiting for so long to actually have this happen, because this is just a test, and I just don't want to have anyone ruining my parade here, because NASA is being a man of being someone who's in computer science and stuff, who's a programmer, who's desiring to work on a couple of things. I have a fascination for science. And being in technology, I have a fascination with science. I had a STEM career. I've, I'm also, I had a STEM education. That's what's happening. It's not like I had a big career in arts and stuff. Some people are crazy, but I mean, I don't know. I just want that thing to, that rocket right there just to go off and work. It's about an hour and 50 minutes and 30 seconds until launch. Okay, I'm gonna live stream my reaction here, so let's see how it works. It's just a live stream, and I think I need to get a couple of things taken care of. Oh yeah, it's still going. Now, now just to let you know, I have a little side business at DBW Creative. That's a little company I run as freelancing, and I provide video transfer services. I provide software development services, and I also provide video editing services, and also have the animation studio thing going on. So I'm like I have my hand cast my net wide out into the tech field, and I'm ready to provide. And I think probably the reason that I obviously want to do animation is because obviously enough of obviously Disney and Pixar and stuff. Well, Walt Disney, you know, the big D guy who founded Disney along with his brother Roy Disney back in like 1923. He collaborated with Werner von Braun on the original rockets that took humans to space and to the moon. It's kind of a weird thing, but he had this thing called Tomorrowland, which is like, oh man, we're going to show people about the exciting possibilities of the future. And they had this Tomorrowland thing at Disneyland. Sometimes I wonder if it's still there, but I'm pretty sure it's still there. Great moments from Mr. Lincoln or something like that. Yeah, so I do have some busy work going on. I have a tape transfer I'm doing for a client. I'm also going to work on a website from some other person. I'm also going to be developing a mobile app for a client as well. And that'll keep me occupied and busy. And not to mention, it's the holiday season, so it's like let me see here. It's like 9 days before Thanksgiving. And I'm gonna have one heck of a story to tell, because this rocket is about to go off. But no, it's just I'm in my living room. I'm not in Florida. I'm in my living room. As you can see here, the computer is still going off very smoothly. But there have been a couple changes here. Now let me just show you what the heck's going on. This shelf space has been cleared just to make for some more stuff. I know, it's crazy, but yeah, my brother gave me this for my birthday, and it's basically a Sasquatch mini building block. It's like adult Lego. I mean, not like Lego, but just more adultish Lego. It's just a figure to show off. Alright. Alright. Okay, I'm just taking a look here. Okay. No. Okay, now I'm back. I'm back. So. Okay, well, so they're broadcasting a launch in 4K. I just have to wait for that tape thing to go off. Like, I want the tape to run out. Well, I just gotta finish transfer tapes with a client. It's still going off. Well, let me do a double check here. I'm just going to be discretionary. Yes, it's still recording. Artemis I Spanish language broadcast. Now está en español.
The name Artemis for our return to the moon.
Well, in Greek mythology, Artemis is the twin sister of Apollo.
Oh, yeah.
So it's really a connection back to the Apollo era, the amazing things we did as part of the Apollo
Oh
program.
no, I mean,
But we wanted to.
I didn't grow up in the '60s.
It's a new set of
I
missions
never did.
with new objectives.
I'm just,
So it's
I'm a
next
millennial.
past with
That's
an eye towards what we might do
that's
as
one
part
thing
of
you
the
gotta know.
program.
I'm just a millennial.
Yeah, let's talk about what those
Well, turns out no one's really watching me so far. Well, at least we got one person watching.
Oh, yeah.
Who might you
I
be?
think we've come a long way since
I
Apollo.
want to be able
Some
to
ways it's
see
but one of the ways
what
we've
what you
evolved
got in
is
store.
our astronaut corps more closely
Okay, so
reflects the
who's this
nation
one
represents
person
now.
who's
So
watching me? I don't know
more diverse, and
they are, or
diverse
the
perspectives,
he or
not
she
only in
or
our
they.
astronaut corps,
There's
but
so
our
many
team
things I
within
can't
this
understand
astronaut.
about the genders beyond the traditional two. Yet,
hear from
yeah,
some of the Apollo
okay.
astronauts and
I don't know, it's just-
more about what we will accomplish for humanity by going back to the moon. We'll meet some of the women shattering glass ceilings to bring Artemis to life, including NASA's first female launch director. We'll also show
Okay.
the launch system up close.
All right.
What happens when the cutest group of visitors gets the surprise of a lifetime. Plus, we'll take you around the world to show you how people are marking this historic mission. And Kayla and I will also take
Well,
your questions live. You can send those our way by using the hashtag
right now the East Coast is like asleep.
from some celebrity.
I'm pulling an all-nighter just to watch this thing. I want to make sure it goes off. Well, at least light the candle and NASA speak.
Moon-inspired content using the hashtag
No, I mean,
NASAMoonsnap.
as you can see, I have a pretty sweet setup. As a matter, and the computer, like the tower system, the custom build I got last Thanksgiving, is situated right next to a TV. I can actually connect use the TV as a computer monitor.
Oh yeah, really creative. And we're
Tell you the truth,
using
I've been using this TV for 5 years, and it's still going off. It broadcasts in 4K. It's a 4K TV. I just have to wait until the prices drop down just so I can afford this. But now they're going off with 8K TVs. I'm like, guys, I honestly thought 4K was fine. I mean, I don't know what was going on, but no one's really made a 8K home video. Yeah, I mean, the 8K streaming, yeah, but not 8K home video. Okay.
Of the gas limit in that area.
Oh man.
The team continuing to work as
Yeah, it appears that there's a team who's working on
about a half hour ago,
something like that.
and they appear to be making their way, at least have stepped back from the area of work. The
What?
way that the workflow has been going is they
Oh,
pull
so-
down the bolts, step back a little bit. The launch team then cycles the valves to check to see if the leak is still there.
They're trying to fix fix the leak on the rocket. I think they might have tightened the bolts or something like that. But they got a limited time to actually fix that leak and then get the heck out of there before that thing starts to light up and then go up. You know?
The upper stage had nearly been finished when the leak was detected.
Come on.
And
I know you can do it. People are. This is like the 4th attempt to do this. I don't want this to be another scrub, okay?
The launch
The previous 2 attempts were scrubbed because of a leak,
replenish puts the
and so far that's been fixed. And the 3rd attempt was canceled just because of a hurricane that approached Florida,
not allow us
and everyone was going crazy about that. And I was like, okay, I want this thing to work. I want them to launch.
has also been put on
They've got some ugly excuses for why they would want to like a hot take for them to not do this or something like that. They're like, hey,
Megan will send it back to you.
Thank you, Derek.
Interstellar made up this excuse that NASA faked the moon landings to bankrupt the Soviets for the express purpose of getting humanity to live a more sustainable lifestyle. That's some bull-hooey excuse they gave in Interstellar. And that awful bomb called Tomorrowland, this they were trying to dismantle the launch pads, and for some reason they didn't dismantle the launch pads. So why the heck would they make that bomb that had the well? You know what? That bomb was so bad that Disney's now doing a bunch of live action remakes, and I don't really enjoy the live action remakes. I'm all animation all the way. I am so old fashioned, you know? Sorry. Right.
Of SLS, but let's jump right in.
They've got like a movies. They got like an anime movies length to get that thing to get this thing launched. It's like Okay. I gotta do a double check. Is this tape transferring? Yeah. I'm tilting the camera down, so you wouldn't be able to see any customer data. It's important. I mean, you heard, but where's 6? Come on.
And those are attached to the core stage.
Yeah, they want to have developed this equipment and test over and over again. They didn't want to lose billions of dollars with rocket. I mean, I am aware of the dangers. I mean, it's like, yeah. Why did the Challenger explode? Someone might have messed up or something. I don't know. Provide that there's like enough space in the I mean, I would train for the G-forces and stuff, but provided that there's enough space to move around in such a narrow capsule or spacecraft or something like that, I need to, I would have to, I would kind of like to go to the moon, but I would have to train for the G-forces. I would have to deal with a small space. I might have some claustrophobia, I'm not really particularly sure, but I'll also have to give up sugars and greasy fat foods before training for this mission. It's like they are monitoring your health in space. They want to make sure you gotta meet the health conditions as any other astronaut. No matter how old or young or however you look, it's still the same priority. It's like, oh come on, I mean, I know, Buzz. No, not. Yeah.
That's the Space Launch System. It's going to be making its first flight, hopefully today. It's going to be a heck of a show. Let's get back to the countdown.
Of course, it's gonna be a heck of a show. Okay. Let me do a double check. Come on. No. It's still recording. I have to do just a simple here.
It's the truck. It's the big carry vehicle.
It allows us to carry both crew as well as the equipment that we need to live and work on the moon.
It's
60 years ago, NASA was in a race to get to the moon. This time is more than just a race. It's about establishing a long-term presence.
Can you imagine rolling the Statue of Liberty out, including the pad? That's what we're doing.
Come on. We gotta go.
We lift up from Earth with more power than Saturn V, which was the first vehicle to take us to the moon.
Artemis is our next giant leap.
Okay. Come on. I want to make sure this thing works. I'm just streaming this live. Yeah, no one's watching my stream. I'm not like the world's most popular guy around here, but you get the point. 1:04 p.m. That's when they're gonna launch. I'm pulling an all-nighter for this.
60 years of building rockets.
60 years. All right. Very nice.
1,700 different potential components that would go into the rocket. And by looking at the way we could reuse some of the most reliable equipment that was flown on the shuttle,
We took those.
Hmm. That's a lot of engineering that goes on there. The engineers. Should I really? And for some reason, I'm not MIT material. I was never MIT material when I got out of high school.
moving beyond that to taking the next step in exploration.
It's 322 people.
Let me
It's got 700,000
let you look at my face again.
in the
No.
core stage alone. It can produce 8.8 million
Okay,
pounds
so
of vacuum thrust.
I am
The space
waiting
launch system is really
patiently
a national
for a
rocket,
success
national
story
asset
that
to
says, yeah, okay, we got like 94 minutes. Or 95, 94 minutes and 43 seconds to launch this thing.
Developed and produced. It has taken thousands of companies across the country.
It comes together by train, it comes together by plane, it comes together by barge.
So all of that culminates at the Kennedy Space Center for the launch of the first Artemis mission.
Everybody has worked together to ensure that we have a safe and reliable rocket.
At NASA, safety and testing is extremely important because ultimately this rocket isn't just to carry cargo, it's meant to carry people.
It takes
I want this thing to work.
education, all types of backgrounds, all types of
Something must have
diversity
gotten
to do the
into
things
my
we do, and it'll be great to
tickle
see
my funny bone and
Where the
And,
space launch system comes in is providing that reliable transportation. Start flying these rockets on
something must have
and take
tickled my throat, and then I had to clear the congestion or something. But I don't have asthma.
Never seen deep space exploration, and this will give them an opportunity to see that this is something that they can
Golly.
do themselves.
It's going to be a paradigm
Okay.
shift for NASA. We're going to be back to looking at
I got past a crazy midterm. So sorry.
A lot to look forward to, and it all begins with launch.
Yeah, I have a heck of a setup.
Orion once it's on its way back. Get an update of operations there with NASA's Leah Cheshire.
Ugh. Oh, come on.
And welcome to Mission Control Houston.
I'm gonna count down once they're ready to count down. Golly. I think, no, the tape is still going. Oh, come on.
Now, this white flight control room has been used before during some space station missions.
A long time ago, sometimes it feels like, oh, we went to the moon a long time ago, and now we're suddenly going back.
Our use with the Artemis program. Today's flight director is Judd Freeman, of 11
Come on.
who will lead the team through the ascent portion of the mission.
Yeah, I know no one's watching this. It's night. They're asleep by now. I know. Hopefully someone is going to be watching this stream, or at least the pre-recorded stream. Oh, man. Come on. I want this to work. They make it look easy, but it was never easy. I mean, I don't think Queen Amazon was real easy either. Now Amazon feels like they want to rule the world. Only I just heard recently that the guy who founded it, he's gonna give his $124 billion wealth in order to charitable causes or something like that. He wants to save the world or something like that. He was like, yeah, we'll sign up with the billionaires who wants to give out away the wealth just to save the world. My question is, well, my question is, I don't really think Jeff Bezos is ever gonna give to a church. I don't know if he even believes in God or Jesus Christ or anything like that. Yeah, you probably don't really know this, but I have a dual monitor setup. I can have programming on one side and web browsing on another. And
Yeah, and
this
we still try to do it
happens to
whenever
be
we can. We actually use the T-38 jet
flash.
as a training
Well,
platform. It's a chance for us to practice.
It's supposed to be an
making
external
real-world decisions in a high-risk
4K
environment,
Blu-ray
practice
drive.
working as a team,
And I'm not
and
sure
then
if it even
analog
writes
space
4K
flight.
Blu-ray.
But we
I'm not
also
sure if
like
my
to
computer
fly
would
by
even
pad when we
support
can,
it.
when we have a rocket out there.
However,
It's a way of saluting
well,
and thanking the
you
team
can
for
like
what it took to get to this
the only way I would be able to play 4K Blu-ray off this thing is if I take the software I purchased called Make MKV and then make a 4K Blu-ray copy or of sorts. But most people aren't really gonna buy a 4K Blu-ray. They're just gonna go straight to streaming. Well, it's kind of unique, but I actually have some.
Cool. All right, I can't wait to hear who gets assigned.
I
And
got.
the absence crew today doesn't mean Orion is empty.
I got the
There
Fire
are plenty
TV
of other
going off.
interesting
It's
things flying on Artemis I,
and attached to that
including
is a
several
special
technology
cord
demonstrations and
as like an
science investigations
OTG
we're gonna show you
adapter,
throughout the broadcast.
and
There are
the
also some
OTG adapter is
mementos
attached to a
like these
USB
seeds that we have right
A
here, right, Kayla?
male to
Yeah, we have
USB
an
C
example of the
female
moon seeds that
adapter,
we'll be flying as part of
and
this mission today.
that's
the idea
connected to a
actually comes from an
USB
Apollo
hub,
14
and that's
astronaut, Stuart Roosa,
additional
who flew
storage
seeds with him
for the
to the
Fire
moon,
Stick.
hundreds of
That's
them, and then brought them back to
that's
Earth. And then they were
that's
planted
like
all
a
over the country and the
little
world,
keyboard
and
and
they're
mouse
called moon
controller,
trees.
and
And
there's
so
an
we're
additional
kind of
port for
carrying on
extra
that idea.
fun stuff I want to attach to the Fire TV, and it's like, yeah, it's a very capable thing. It's also based off of Android. It's Fire TV is based off of Android TV.
Artemis I's official flight kit.
Moon seeds?
10,000 other mementos, like this Apollo 8 commemorative medal you see here, a nod to 1968 when humans first orbited the moon, and the bolt.
And that was when you created that photo. That's like, hey, hey, we're gonna have this photo. This is one planet we have. We cannot really use no planet B there. They're like, yeah, there is no planet B. I know that's what the activists are doing, but there's a lot better ways to achieve your goals than to just splash goo all over precious works of art, which are protected by glass, by the way. Yeah, they are protected by glass. There's a lot. I mean, that's just selfish, childish behavior, you know? I feel like there's a lot better way to achieve it. There's science. I could feel like science can achieve so much of emissions reductions, but I constantly believe I want a white Christmas in Georgia. That's probably why I'm probably on this environmental movement, but yeah, it's night. It's November, so I can't really expect a white Christmas in Georgia right now. I don't know. I don't know. Too many hot takes. The press is, well, they're the masters of deception. Everyone on the press would be like a master of deception. When I was left with journalism, I feel like I could just pick it up or something like that, but I just want to report out on the positive things. Just to remind you that Elon Musk now owns Twitter. And in Russia, well, actually, the Ukrainians pushed back so hard against Russia that some of the... Oh, come on! No, that was a movie where he lost so much. No, I don't want to. Don't want to talk about him.
My nephew's probably asleep, but he's a big Buzz Lightyear fan, so he's probably gonna
I mean, that movie. I heard that movie bombed. I saw it. I didn't really like how they lost over and over and over again. I hate losing. Americans love a winner, and we'll not tolerate a loser. Americans play to win all the time. I'm gonna give a hoot and holler for a man who lost and laughed. That's why Americans will never lost and will never lose a war, because the very thought of losing is hateful to Americans. Yeah, I give you credit for Captain America, Chris, but Lightyear, you should have let Tim Allen play like Buzz Lightyear, because I just know him so well for that role. I'm sorry, but that's what I believe.
We have a ton of people
to now on is Buzz Lightyear. It's always will be Buzz Lightyear to me. I'm so old-fashioned. I'm so aging crazy millennial who feels like he's hang on. Now let me now the tape is finished. So let me give you an indication of how I do this. I just push record off. It's gonna stop recording. Now I'm gonna take this flash drive out. Actually, it's just a micro SD card reader. That card in there is like 512 gigabytes. 512 gigabyte micro SD from a trusted manufacturer like Samsung. Then I'm gonna take this camera, which is a mini DV. I could transfer mini DVs, and take it out like that. There we go. This is the box that it came in. Oh, sorry. Oh, it's hard to do stuff while holding a camera, but you get the picture. Okay, let's get this. Alright.
Okay, 1 hour, 24 minutes.
Now, just to let you know, I'll do the usual operations on this machine. Yeah, it runs Windows 11. Oh, no, sorry.
Launch Control Center at the Kennedy Space Center. And currently we have an update on that red crew, which went out to the pad.
Okay.
Put down some bolts on the
Now let me insert the flash drive here. No. Sorry, it has to be a G-Sync. NVIDIA G-Sync.
The blast danger area.
So sorry about the flashing lights. It's
They got the go at 10 p.m. this evening, 10 p.m. Eastern time, to go out and conduct work that took roughly an hour from the time they were given the go till the time they left the blast danger area.
Come on.
The technicians.
Okay. All right. There's a drive there. It records to that flash drive. The machine I have records that flash drive. So let me do my base of operations here. The confidential data is client, so I would assume this is just normal. Give me a few seconds.
Put the liquid hydrogen tank into stop flow, and as a
I'm
result,
gonna conduct a
also
little
stopped
private
a
business.
required 90-minute engine bleed for the liquid hydrogen side. Teams have come to the conclusion that only a 45-minute bleed is required at this point. They can resume the bleed at the point that they left off, and it'll be enough to meet that requirement for launch. You're looking now at a graphic where we're tracking the core stage fill rate. We did this earlier this evening. Took about 4 hours and 20 minutes to fill the core stage. You can see on the left that the core stage liquid oxygen is at 100%.
The woman
That's the
on
same
the
for
TV.
the
I was
upper
like, oh, nephew's
stage.
asleep.
And
Yeah,
both
she
are
loves.
stable replenished. As you can look to the right, though, you can see that we're at 97% for liquid hydrogen. The reason for that
Gotta get
is
this.
because when we went into stop flow, that means that the replenish was no longer refilling the tank.
Alright. So I'm gonna load it. This is the power I've already converted for the client. And that goes in there since it's already been converted. So let's get this inserted into there. Golly. Oh. So sorry. Not so nimble with these fingers as some other people. No. What an illusion. Come on. Not quite. It wasn't going all the way, but there we go. There it goes all the way. And we're gonna insert this other tape in here. Okay, and this one surprisingly has a label. Oh, come on. Better jam it in there. No. There we go. I just gotta hit rewind just to get all the data. See if there's anything on that tape. Yeah, there's stuff on the tape.
Committed to heading to the moon, and we do that with this, the trans-lunar injection. This will be about an 18-minute flight on today's timeline, and this is done to give us enough energy to get out of low Earth orbit and make our way to the moon. Shortly after that, the ICPS will separate and do this coastal burn, sending it around the moon and into an orbit around the sun. But from there on out,
I pulled it on. I just took this and devoured like 4 of the. Well, actually, at 4 in the morning. No. I think about sticking to the usual routine, but then New Year's, I'm gonna have to drink a lot more water. You know. Every New Year's, I have to just improve my health. I know that the blood work is coming. Every year, without fail, I do blood work. Okay. Let me just check if the tape is fully around. Not quite. It's still rewinding. Hello, Joanne. Golly. Well, I always feel like what's the matter with looking pretty and still being so super duper capable of doing things, girls? Is there such a big problem you have with what if
that can withstand that heat of re-entry.
Do you not want to look beautiful? Please tell me that you actually do want to look beautiful. Do you want to look beautiful, girls? And still be super duper capable of doing so many great things?
Our return to the moon would not be possible without our partners across the country and the world. So joining us now is Frank Pavina, head of ESA's European...
Well, an hour and 17 minutes to launch.
Well, so I want to ask you, talk to me about Airbus and how
Airbus contributed to this endeavor. Looks like we're ready to do a conversion. I'm going to press record. Yeah, recording. And we are going to press play on there. And it's going to go off. Let's see if it goes off. Yeah, it's going off. I hear some audio. So now back to the launch.
Yeah. We've been close partners, NASA,
I have been waiting a long time for this. I have not grown up in the 60s. Sometimes I wish I did because of the unique stuff that was going on. I mean, Rudolph came out in the 60s, Batman, Wheels, Bond, all that fun stuff. I know, sustainable way. Funny how you're thinking about sustainability. People are like, no, you can't do this. It's not sustainable. Everything that's being done now is being put with sustainability in mind. even my computer, even when it was materials on my computer, it's Apple's like going all. Yeah, I mean they'll make all these claims. That Amazon's like gonna make all the claims about what they can do with the environment and
Have
stuff.
you guys begun preparing for
How to
spring?
what they could do. Oof, I'm so sorry. I just want a white Christmas in Georgia. I'd perma ice North Pole, and I want children to continue believing in Santa Claus.
Just over with us just 1 week ago, doing field trips, and we are actually starting to prepare to see also which technologies do we need to use that we can at the best.
Yeah, even a lot of people down south don't believe in Santa Claus. What? Who do you think puts all their toys under the tree? Well, there's a rumor flying around that the parents do it. That's ridiculous. I mean, parents could do all that in one night. What about parents Santa's cookies as opposed to parents eat them too? I love that movie. I watch it every year. Without fail. It is my. This is one of my favorites. Syrup! A buddy loves syrup, but he just put syrup with the spaghetti. I love that so much. Syrup, spaghetti, and syrup. Is there sugar and syrup? Yes, then yes. We all stick to the 4 main food groups: candy, candy canes, candy corns, and syrup. I don't know if anyone's selling candy corns at this time of year. November, maybe there might still be some, but I'm not particularly sure. How the heck are you gonna get an elf kit with candy corn? Candy corns usually go with autumn. By the time Halloween ends, they all roll out the Christmas stuff. By the time Halloween ends, they just roll out the Christmas stuff without fail. I mean, they just kind of skip Christmas. But, well, here's what I do. Every year on November the 5th, I start listening to Christmas music just to get myself prepped for the spirit of the things to come. But I do not skip Thanksgiving. I celebrate Thanksgiving. And then after Thanksgiving, I come back, and then I go all out to decorate for Christmas after Thanksgiving. It's like I'm one of those guys who doesn't decorate for Christmas after Halloween. I prefer to go all out after Thanksgiving. So sorry.
All right, and speaking of viewers, we have
Golly.
a ton of people out here along the space coast of Florida watching today's launch. So let's head on over to NASA's Leo Martin. She's over at the
Ton of people.
A whole bunch of excited people.
Oh my goodness, Megan. You know, this normally is a time of night that people are winding down and getting ready for bed, but there is not a single person here who has sleep on their mind. Everybody is so excited, on the edge of their seat, trading stories, talking about previous launches and being excited for this one. And I'm actually joined here with 3 women who are thrilled to come out and watch tonight's launch. What does it mean to be out here and see this historic launch tonight?
It's an amazing moment. I grew up on the Space Coast watching launches, and so to be out here tonight is incredible.
Sometimes when I was a little kid, I grew up I was born in Orlando, Florida. Wait a second. That's a good amount of people over there. Some people, not like the whole loot of everyone over there, but golly. It's just, who's my sole viewer? Who's my sole viewer here? Alright. Who's my sole viewer? Who was my sole viewer? Did they just exit? Yeah, I know NASA's got the mainstream and that they got the most viewers and stuff. Yeah, but try to give me a chance sometimes. I know people just winding down. They might think, "Oh, come on, we can't." I don't want to be able to sleep. Well, I know children don't want to sleep on Christmas Eve, and they just want to get the presents right away. It's like, oh, they got a little greedy minds and stuff.
So grateful to be here. I can't wait to see the positive impact.
So sorry.
One more question.
It's just it's a rocket. I want this thing to go off
How are
successfully.
you marking this? Do you have any special
Fa la 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 la. Something. I do get the Christmas music, but I'm not really going to turn on the Christmas music on the stream. It's like, yeah, those things are copyright. I could just maybe I could sing some of that. All right. Okay.
Really great interviews, and wow, I saw that drone shot that we had showing all of the bleachers
Oh, so sorry.
filled with people there to watch the
In
launch.
light of the
Hey, guys, joining us. Welcome to NASA's live launch
in light of the
coverage
war
Artemis
in
I
Ukraine
Return to the Moon in almost
and
50 years. I'm NASA's Megan Cruz.
and
This is
Christmas
NASA
coming up, I'm
astronaut
just
Caleb Barrett, who flew on
singing a
NASA's
song. I just
SpaceX Crew 3
I mean,
mission and returned
I
home
didn't
early this year
write
after
this song.
working on the International Space Station for about
I
6
just
months. I gotta ask
hear
you,
it
how
every
was
year
that
without
experience?
fail on a radio
It
station.
was incredible.
Okay.
We had
Here we
such
go.
an amazing time up there. The Expedition 66 crew was awesome.
So this is Christmas,
Crew in the history of the space station.
and what have you
Been able to
done?
challenge me on that yet.
You guys look very happy.
Another year over,
Just like a family up there
a
executing
new one just
some
begun.
amazing science experiments. We got to
And
see
so
three
happy
spacewalks.
Christmas.
You couldn't have
We
planned
hope
perfect
you
Christmas
have
for
fun.
me, Matthias and Raja, and of course our
The
veterans
near
up there,
and the
Mark
dear
and
ones.
We just, it was
The old and the young.
Wow, look at that photo of you in the cupola.
A
That
Merry, Merry
beautiful.
Christmas.
It's just
And
like
a
every
Happy
time
New
you
And now
Year.
here you are.
Let's
Some
hope
valuable
it's a
insight
good
into Artemis I.
one.
This is our third opportunity
Without
to see
any
NASA's British space launch system rocket
fear.
and Orion
And
spacecraft.
so this
And
is
announcements like that paves the
Christmas.
way for future cruise missions
For weak
starting
and
with
for
Artemis II.
strong.
And Kayla, you could be chosen to
For
fly
rich
the
and for
future
poor
missions. How does that make you feel?
ones.
Honestly,
The road is so long.
could barely
And
imagine
so
what it
happy
was like to space station until I
Christmas.
did it. And
For
just
black
thinking
and
about what it
for
would be like to
white.
look back at the Earth from orbit
For
around the
yellow
Earth,
and red
it
ones.
kind of blows my mind.
Let's stop all the
It's
fights.
hard to even imagine that that's
A
true.
Merry,
It's
Merry
really special.
Christmas.
And
And a Happy New Year.
That's a
Let's
beautiful
hope
picture.
it's
You
a
see
good
the moon, right?
one.
yeah, that's
Without any fear. And so this is Christmas. And what have we done? Another year over. A new one just begun. And so happy Christmas. We hope you have fun. The near and the dear ones.
Very busy year for us.
The
now.
old and the young.
Two more commercial crew
Merry, Merry Christmas. And a Happy New Year. Let's hope it's a good one. Without any fear. War is over. If you want it, war is over now. Yeah.
slams the DART spacecraft into asteroid Dimorphos and successfully changed its course. The asteroid wasn't headed for Earth, that's important to say, but the test was to show that we could defend our planet if needed.
Yeah, let's defend our planet, and let's
program. Last week we tested a new inflatable heat shield that could
wait.
help us
Let me
eventually
get
land
back to the
humans on
screen.
Mars. And just
Oh,
2
so
days
sorry.
ago,
It's just
Capstone
this
arrived
is
at its intended orbit around the
it's
moon.
just
The small
just
satellite
footage
from New Zealand and
that
June
they've
will
captured.
now test the unique lunar
Like
orbit
66
for the
minutes
Space
into
Station.
launch.
Very first talk about a gateway.
And
Now,
that
Caleb,
number
what
of the
do you think
beast.
about all that NASA's
I know they're going for it. No, it's just do a double check, and the tape is still running, and it's still recording. So sorry.
Like the James Webb images just capture my imagination every time.
And so they're
So it's, yeah, we have a lot going on and a lot
hope you have fun.
I hope people are following along.
I know I've got a couple things, but most importantly, I got some very sensory-friendly things. I love this fluffy blanket. It's I got this at a White Elephant gift exchange one year, and oh gee,
hydrogen side.
Well,
And now
it's
replenish
very comfortable, and I
hydrogen,
do
which is
enjoy
good
being
news.
enveloped
The
by
team
it.
now looking to work on that upper stage.
Some
and
sensory
to
friendly in
to
this.
the NASA test director. They just informed the NTD that they can start getting back the flow on the upper stage as well. It went into a stop flow roughly around 10 p.m. Eastern time after a leak was detected.
Hour to launch. Come on. Let's see this. Yeah, I'm gonna be counting down.
Over on the right side, you can see we've lost some hydrogen since going into a stop flow that allowed some liquid hydrogen to boil off during about an hour or so while a red crew was sent out to the launch pad to make repairs. Now, the hydrogen bleed for the engines was reestablished, and it looks like the team is back on track to recover that after a stop flow halted the bleed. They are required to bleed that liquid hydrogen through the RS-25 engines for 90 minutes, but they're picking up where they left off, and that appears to be on track.
Wow, these guys are just risky.
Range has informed the NASA test director that currently, at the moment, if we were to launch now, they are no-go due to the loss of signal on a radar site. That's currently being worked right now. Again, the range advising the NASA test director.
Man, so many moving parts.
The range is not clear for launch until they remedy that issue on their radar site. And so we're also tracking that. In the meantime, we started this
Come on.
at 3:23 p.m. Eastern time.
Don't want this to be scrubbed. So many moving parts.
4 hours and 23 minutes, and now looking to get everything back on track to try to make that launch window at 1:04 a.m. Eastern time, which has a 2-hour window associated with it, all the way to 3 a.m. Eastern time. That's the latest from the firing room. Take it back to you.
Thank you, Daryl. Now, there may not be astronauts aboard the Orion spacecraft for
Come on, I want this to
there
work.
are some passengers there with very important missions.
Snoopy is
inside the Orion
well,
spacecraft as we fly around the moon.
there's a little doll, Snoopy.
To help us understand what the environment is like.
Although there's no humans aboard Artemis I, we do have a few special passengers aboard that will help us pave the way for future Artemis missions.
And one of them is well, test dummies.
We will also have 2 torsos that are learning.
We also have Snoopy, and we also have Gromit, Wallace and Gromit.
On Artemis I, we call him our Moonikin for short.
That Moonikin is called Commander Moonikin Campos.
The name
Campos.
is actually in homage to Arturo Campos,
who was an important person who helped bring the Apollo 13 capsule home. The Moonikin will sit in the commander's seat, and it will wear a suit just like our astronauts will wear.
Moonikin Campos is actually weighted to simulate an actual human aboard the Orion spacecraft.
So it will help us understand what our astronauts will experience as they go to the moon and home.
The Orion Crew Survival System suit and the Orion seat were designed simultaneously to fit together as a seamless package.
I want this to go off so smoothly.
Built into the Orion seat, such that when they're in the suit, in the seat is a true cocoon of protection for them. During this test flight, the seat will actually be instrumented with accelerometers.
Sensors that tell us how much the chair is shaking during launch and re-entry, and how many G-forces or gravitational forces it experiences.
We expect Commander Moonikin Campos to have a very exciting ride on his way to orbit. The thrill of launch, the experience of weightlessness, the excitement of landing. What we learn on Artemis I with our mannequins and assistants will help us better understand how a human will actually behave in the seat, both for landing and for launch, to allow us to ensure their safety.
In addition to the Moonikin,
they have a test run on Earth, so they can fail down there, so they won't ever fail up there. Okay, nice. An hour to launch. Please fix everything. Ellie, fix everything. Everything's going off. Come on. I think I'm... Sometimes I wonder if I'm really... No, I'm not. No one cares about the secret trilogy anymore.
Each one of the two phantoms will be equipped with about 20.
Those very specific moving parts have to be under protection.
How well we can protect our astronauts from radiation.
Space radiation is a mix of high energy charged
So sorry.
particles that originate from the sun. To put things in perspective, 1 year of Earth exposure to cosmic rays is equivalent with 1 day of space radiation exposure in deep space. The purpose of the Mara experiment is to learn more about the radiation exposure as well as the biological effects of different organs.
So basically, it's like we have 3 occupants inside Orion that are learning about the moon and learning about the environment for our astronauts.
Oh, come on.
Going back to the moon,
It's very... I don't know, I just want this thing to work. Less than an hour away to launch. Please, I just want this to work.
We will have to develop new technology and solutions to meet really difficult challenges. But that's what NASA does. That's what Artemis is all about.
If if they weren't on
favorite beagle that's had a special connection with NASA ever since Apollo.
Snoopy Peanuts.
Artemis is NASA's plan to go back to the moon, and Snoopy is to be the zero gravity indicator.
A zero-G or zero-gravity indicator demonstrates the moment that the crew in the spacecraft reach weightlessness.
Snoopy is about to take his first trip around the moon.
The relationship with NASA and Snoopy goes...
All right, Snoopy. I love Peanuts. I don't really like how they refuse just to let. I'm gonna have to go to Apple TV Plus in order to. Oh, we got 2 viewers. Who are my 2 viewers tonight? I'm pretty excited to watch this moon launch. It's an unmanned test, but it'll get the job done for NASA. Oh, that 1 viewer left. Who's my 1 viewer? Who's my 1 viewer? Reveal yourself. I can't see. May not be visible. Touch chat, no. Yo, the Fortnite says, yo. The Fortnite. Hello, the Fortnite. Nice to meet you. My 1 viewer. I've been waiting for NASA to pull off something like this for a long time. The Fortnite, my sole viewer.
Staying here on Earth, that way we can take a closer look at how cute he is.
Before, NASA is about to launch this rocket to the moon, and I don't want them to scrub this launch. I mean, they've tried this like 3 times, and the first 2 times they didn't do it because of a leak in the hydrogen area, and the second time that they didn't do it, the third time they didn't do it was I have no clue. I'm being patient as the Dickens, Leforite. I'm being as patient as the Dickens.
Yeah, so I was our representation from the
Leforite.
crew office, from the astronaut office to the engineering team.
Just 57 minutes until launch. If you want to count down with me, I can. Once we get closer to the actual countdown time, we can definitely do countdown together. If you want to invite more viewers, you can.
The video mentioned we always choose stuffed animals. So we actually had a turtle. We named her
Go.
Frau, which is German for
Golly.
peacock.
I know there's a cramped space inside the spacecraft, but golly. I would have to give up sugars and greasy fat foods in order to go up in that rocket. I have to meet health conditions. I'll have to be fed food in a squeeze tube or something. That's what they do in space food, because there's 0G. You can't bring a bag of chips in space. I'm not sure if it's gonna fail. So sorry.
I think the tradition goes back to crews taking stuffed animals from their children.
Oops, so sorry. I have one heck of a setup. So sorry. Yeah, Dad gave me this little snippet. a newspaper of my hero, Temple Grandin, who's on the autism spectrum like a forerunner, and his autism advocate. She deals with animal culture science, and is a professor at Colorado State University. She was diagnosed on the autism spectrum in like the early 50s, and back then people with that kind of disorder, they were like institutionalized, and I'm like, come on, there's so much worse. She challenged the status quo. As a matter of fact, I had the very good privilege of actually meeting Temple Grandin. Yeah, see, there's me with Temple Grandin, and I'm pretty happy just to meet my hero, heroine to be precise. This is me back when I was working at the Home Depot. I was just a rookie developer then, but I have a lot more experience.
Launch and flight directors that have substantial roles in engineering, science.
Well, it's definitely.
This is so important for a new generation, the Artemis generation, to see how individuals are leaders and contributors to the mission, and for youth across America and the planet to see this as well. After 50 years, it is gratifying to see this change, and I can't wait to see what you all accomplish together. New century, new generation, new mission to the moon and beyond. Speed, Artemis team, and Artemis I.
Mad Men. I don't know. I know that was a Mad Men generation. Mad Men generation. I never grew up in the '60s. I never was around in the '60s. Might have been pretty interesting, but there were a lot of disadvantages. If I was in the '60s, I would still be like, I would be walking into walking into town, and they'll see me, my social awkwardness, and hey, what happened? And they would see my social awkwardness, and they would be like, get out of here, you freak! 53 minutes to launch.
But even before that
Hello.
happened, I knew that
The Fortnite.
I was serving in that role, and I was dreaming about it. So I think
Before I'm sorry. Let's see who else would join. It's so late in it. Launch happens at 1 o'clock, 1:04 p.m. If anyone wants to watch it. 33 minutes. Counting. Come on, just want this to work. Hey, who's back? The Fortnite might be back. Hello. Who might be back?
Yeah, no, that's great.
Golly, come on. Come on, just tell me who's, tell me who you are, who's my sole viewer. The Fortnite. Fortnite already commented on here, but, is this for the Fortnite again?
The opening of the 2-hour window for Artemis I today. Once it soars off the launch pad.
Come on. I just have to do a double check here. I'm just transferring tapes for a client. It's, still recording. I'm just, being as patient as... Wait a second. This thing... Come on.
Hey Megan, I'm here now, and thanks
Okay,
for
finally they fixed
We're
it.
in the white light control room here at
Ow.
NASA's Johnson Space Center. So you might be wondering why Johnson Space Center will control the planet.
So sorry. It's just... Alright. I don't mind a drink of water. Nothing comes out of the faucets but strawberry jelly, strawberry axle grease. Oh, it's come on, ridiculous. Oh, you You turned the water in Gotham City into a strawberry jelly. It's like, oh no, that's a one ridiculous show. It's just as cheesy as the Dickens, but it's classic. I mean, the old Batman show in the 60s, yeah.
Captured this video of the 4-mile, 9-hour journey. It took a special
Golly.
transporter and a special team of people to make it happen.
Not to be pretty
Hear from them what
specific.
it's like to shoulder the weight of this moment.
Golly, don't lose all the water.
It's a machine that goes and picks up the mobile launcher, the SOS rocket with Orion. It's
So sorry.
the cornerstone of the mobile launch concept. Without the crawler, you couldn't transport the mobile launcher and the vehicle from the VAV to the pad or the pad back to the VAV. And it was designed and built for the Apollo program, move Saturn V to the launch pad. Since then, we've modified it and used it to move the entire shuttle program. And after the shuttle program, we did extensive modifications, and now it's being used to move Artemis to the launch pad. The crawler is 136 feet long from end to end. It's 114 feet wide.
Less than 50 minutes to launch.
It weighs 6.6 million pounds. It has the power to do 2 miles an hour, but you never want to go that fast. Generally, we're around 0.83 for SLS. Artemis will be one of the heaviest loads we've ever carried and one of the tallest loads we've carried. I'm extremely proud of our team. They're very talented, they're very committed, and
Pinkie Pie wants to go on the rocket. I don't know who. I know. Yeah, but that Pinkie Pie mug, I got that as part of MLP, the movie thing back in 2017, but that was like 5 years ago, and things have changed. I mean, there was like a Me Too movement, a crazy Trump thing, and the COVID pandemic, the wildfires, and the race riots and protests everywhere. I want to move on from the events of 2020 and get on with my normal life and have a super duper happy holiday season and a very merry Christmas. This year, 2022, despite all the challenges, despite all the inflation, despite the crazy stuff that's going on right now.
Alright, so we are 48 minutes and counting again from that opening of the 2-hour window.
Oh, come on.
Caleb, you thought you were excited. You
They're
have got to
right.
check out this video here.
I'm just being patient here. 48 minutes.
We got some children that are on a bus, and they're going to come here to the vehicle assembly building, and the administrator and I are going to jump on the bus and surprise them.
We're going to give them the opportunity to come in and go up the elevator with the rocket. Hey guys, would you like to see a moon rocket?
The flight, I don't...
Future of our country and indeed the future of the world. And we saw what our space program does.
Okay, you should smash it then? I'm keeping it. Collectible. Along with all the other stuff.
Alright guys, what do you think?
Come on. I want this thing to launch.
Today is inspiring a new generation. I mean, the more people that we can get to see up close and personal this rocket, it's awe-inspiring. And I cannot wait for the launch. When America sees our rocket actually launch on a test flight to the moon, you know, it's just going to spark a whole new push for what we are doing.
Best day of my whole life ever. It's going to be incredible. It was a dream come true.
This rocket's definitely going to the moon.
I think it's really amazing.
I was actually really excited to notice the rocket like this close up.
Now we have the Artemis generation. This is a new generation of us going back to the moon to learn and live, and then we're going to Mars.
So sorry.
Their faces, it was amazing. I think my face looked pretty similar the first time I
Come
went
on.
to the VAB and looked up at that rocket.
Just so close.
And standing at the base of the rocket just takes your breath away. The scale of it, 350 feet, especially
Come on.
like that, is just amazing. So I almost relived my first time in the VAB through their eyes.
Be right back.
I was there, so they were asking me questions, they were asking the administrator,
Be right back.
Vanna as well, and they just, hands shot up. They just had questions, and then
Be right
sometimes I didn't really know the answer, and they're like, well, it's this, and I was like, oh my god, they know so much, and they're so interested in it. I mean, again, this is why we're doing this. This is part of the inspiring the next generation.
Absolutely. Whenever I get a chance to interact with kids, kind of at any age, all the way from elementary school up through college, the human spaceflight program, and Artemis in particular, I think really captures people's imagination and gets them interested in everything it takes to do something so daring and so complicated.
Yeah. And actually, before we move on, an interesting note about the opening music in that video, it's an original composition called The Artemis Generation, performed by the Cooper Middle School Band percussion section of McLean, Virginia. And to continue to inspire the Artemis generation, NASA invited students to take part in a national essay contest, challenging them to imagine what it'd be like to lead a week-long mission to the moon's South Pole. Here's the first winner now.
Alright, I'm back. I just had to go to the bathroom, that's all. Golly. There we go.
My crew of 3 and I had been working for years to get here. A botanist, an engineer, a doctor, and me, an astrobiologist. We've been picked because of how well we got along together, with our complementary STEM backgrounds and our naturally upbeat personalities. Houston, this is Artemis Crew 1, initiating airlock sequence, I said over my microphone.
Oh.
I looked at my crewmates, and as I stepped out of the pod, I felt so gratified, becoming the first woman on the moon. Our purpose was to set up a moon habitat containing the 4 things needed to keep a crew safe: oxygen and clean water, a waste disposal system, a veggie project for food, and a protective outside shell made of regolith and mycelium.
I mean, you have to be...
Over the next week, and it will be used by other astronauts for years to come.
You have to be very specific with that.
Embarking on this incredible adventure, I couldn't help but be grateful to be given this opportunity to lead the most remarkable crew, and to know that I was a part of the Artemis generation.
Oh no, it's just a... I would love to see the first woman on the moon. And I like to see give the first one out there who's gonna walk out that door. I want her to see the poster set with Bing Bong from inside out saying, "Artemis, take her to the moon for me, okay?"
Scan the QR code you see on the screen. The 3 of them
NASA essay contest winners. All I want to do in 2025 is to actually go in to see that launch myself. Well, or when people are gonna go to the moon again.
Plenty of bleachers set out to accommodate, as you can see, a lot of guests.
Oh, it's Groundhog Day again.
There and check back in with NASA's Leah Martin.
Hi, Megan. Yeah, this place is filling up. You can feel the excitement, people chattering, people sharing stories, people talking. And, we just heard about those Artemis Moonpod essay winners who are part of the Artemis generation. Also joining me tonight from the Artemis generation, we have 2 students who were actually able to come down and visit at Kennedy Space Center to watch this launch live tonight. I'm joined here by Denham and Allison.
But do any of these women ever want to look before, or is that not possible? What is beautiful to you? What is beautiful to Gen Z? What is beautiful to the generation after that? I don't know.
Like that, but we have this opportunity out of so many people who applied for this.
I don't know. Beauty comes in all forms. Don't be deceived by appearances. Beauty is found within. You're all beautiful. I'm just waiting for this thing. I want it to go off. Come on, you can do it. Come on. It's just 41 minutes. 41 minutes. Come on. I want this to work. I want this to work so much badly.
I'm really excited to be here, and it's amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah, it's just a launch window.
The only one shedding tears tonight. Megan,
Are you sure?
excited. Eyes on Artemis.
Is it so? It's the launch window, but you have a T minus. Well, my question is it going to go off?
All right, let's take a look at the screen now. We have another celebrity question.
Hey, who's the celebrity this time?
Hey, I'm Kiki Palmer.
Oh, come on! Oh, come on! Lightyear was a bomb! One, Lightyear was a bomb. Two, I didn't really like it because I kept on failing. The people kept on failing and failing and failing and failing and failing and failing and failing. I hate failing. I hate losing. I hate losing. I hate when Buzz Lightyear loses. I hate when the heroes lose. I want to win. I want people to win. Americans love a winner. And we're not tolerating a loser. Americans play to win all the time. I want to give a hoot and holler for a man who lost and laughed. That's why Americans will never lost and will never lose a war. Because the very thought of losing is hateful to Americans. And some people are like, yeah, bomb because of the obvious, and it's like, oh, he got woke, he really broke. That's the little thing that they're going for. Some people go crazy. I just want this to work.
All right, let's take another question from.
No, I don't want to smash anything.
Inspired you to be an astronaut?
You know, my journey was a little bit different than some of my colleagues.
Come on.
Dreaming of becoming an astronaut.
Excuse me, I gotta.
The barrier was there. I was aware of and inspired by the space program.
I know it's gotta be very specific with that. I think that power has to be very specific with that joystick. Just to land on the moon. It has to be very, Buzz Aldrin is like, has to be very specific with that joystick. Analog errors.
Confidence to even dream that I could become an astronaut, and then it inspired me to apply in the first place.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Am I a cheater?
We're not supposed to be in confined space at that.
Yeah, I think so.
No, I don't want to be a cheater.
I got a chance to be an astronaut serving on my submarine.
Man. I got mom. I'm my mommy's little piggy. I'm my mama's little piggy. What's going on in the background? I'm transferring transferring tapes for a customer. Can't really name the client though. I can't disclose customer data to the public.
Is Snoopy ready and excited?
Yeah, of course Snoopy is.
Like any crew member, Snoopy's been training for this moment. He knows what to expect in a nominal and an off-nominal launch, and all the actions expected of him. So, like any good crew member,
and he has a suit that's been tailored to him. It's especially.
Come on, I don't want to puke.
Astronaut suits are especially.
Come on, let's.
So, yeah, I think
Light the candle. I know it's gonna go off. No, silly.
Tweet or drop them in the comments wherever you're watching this broadcast.
No, it's just
NASA moon snaps. Hashtag NASA moon snaps.
I know they're going off. I know it's gonna go off.
Okay, we are now 37 minutes from the opening of our 2-hour launch window today.
Hopefully.
Check back in with Daryl with the launch team.
Yeah, we've had a couple of issues that the launch team has been working, and we have an update on both of those. First of all, is the leak, the liquid hydrogen leak in the replenish valve out at the mobile launcher. I understand from the launch team that that leak has not recurred. The work that happened out at the pad is that the red crew and the work that they did out there remedied the leak. That's good news. And now the liquid hydrogen tank on the core stage is back in replenish at this moment. And the upper stage of the rocket, liquid hydrogen side, is in fast fill. You can see from the graphic there that we are back up to 100% over on the liquid hydrogen side on the right hand of the screen. On the left hand of the screen, you can see we have been in stable replenish for liquid oxygen.
We've never been this close before.
Now, in regards to the
Let's go.
They reported that they had an issue to the NASA test director with their radar site. Later found out that
Let's go.
was actually a bad Ethernet switch. That was,
I mean, it's not like I'm a nationalist or some or someone who's just putting America first. No, I knew people all over the world worked on this. Now it's gonna happen. 35 minutes, 54 seconds and counting.
They did just recently update the NASA test director to say that it's going to take them a little bit longer because they're going to need to re-verify this Ethernet equipment once they have it installed.
Ethernet?
That work is ongoing.
Come on.
At the moment, if we were launching right now, the range is no-go as a result of that bad Ethernet switch. The Dolly file, which helps steer
so many moving parts
through the upper atmosphere, has been uploaded to the rocket, and so we're good to go there in terms of other configurations that are ongoing. But we are continuing to monitor communications and launch team about holding to the top of the window, currently slated for 1:04 a.m. Eastern time. But we do have 2 hours, and we have yet to see whether or not the launch team is going to be able to make enough adjustments in order to hit the top of that window. No slip yet, but we're monitoring their work, and we'll give you an update when we have it.
Well, come on. I want this to work. Come on, I want this to work. 34 minutes. 34 minutes. I want this to work. Okay. Still transferring. Come on. I want this to go off.
The spacecraft that's going to be carrying our Artemis astronauts off
Come on. I want this to work.
As you said, 3 major components. So
Come on.
Here at the top of the first one, the launch
oh, so sorry. How hard is it? You got a lot of moving parts. I have to be very specific. How do you handle work under pressure?
Using 3 solid rocket motors. The first one, the abort motor, can fire within
I guess some of these people at NASA can't fathom working in computer science and web development or software development like me.
Before we get ready to fire the jettison motor. This is the one that will actually take the launch abort system off of Orion, allowing it to then deploy parachutes and parachute down to safety. I will note the jettison motor, the only one that fires no matter what normal mission. It's going to fire once we're high enough in the atmosphere. And for Artemis I, that is the only motor on this that is active.
Come on. Let's go.
Are inert for Artemis I. And that's all.
I want this to work.
The Orion crew module. This is where you have your astronauts.
Yeah, you're putting me intense on edge or something like that.
You need to keep a crew safe, happy, healthy, thriving in deep space. You have a pressurized
I'm gonna go for launch.
Seats, crew displays, toilet, everything that you need. On the outside,
so many moving parts.
On the bottom, the heat shield. Remember, this is goal number 1 for this mission.
Come on.
That heat shield. It's an ablative structure made to survive that re-entry at the end of a mission. Along the outside, you see these small gray circles. Those are reaction control system thrusters. So Ryan moves out of there.
Come on,
yaw, pitch and roll as it's hurtling through the atmosphere. We have windows. You need windows to look outside. 2 on the front, 2 on the sides, 1 on the side hatch, 1 on
so
the top,
sophisticated.
And top docking hatch. Those are different layers of glass and
so many moving parts.
We have a docking system, an upright system, parachute.
Don't freak out. Think positive.
Third and final
Think
piece,
positive,
down
okay?
At the bottom, the European service module. This has all of the propulsion assets for after SLS has done its job. Starting on the bottom,
2-hour launch window.
Maneuvering system engine. This is the one that's providing the most thrust for all of those key maneuvers.
Night launch. So early in the morning. So early in the morning. Okay. No. Oh, golly. Yeah. Golly. I think I got a visitor. Ooh. About to get him. Just hang on a minute. I'm gonna have to take care of the spider.
Inside the service module, you have tanks for things like the thermal control system, potable water when we have crew on board, and also pressurized oxygen and nitrogen for an atmosphere, which gets fed through this umbilical here to the crew module, along with electrical lines. That's also what's going to separate us at the very end of the mission. So that's Orion. It's going to be making its first flight around the moon on Artemis I. Can't wait to see it, taking those selfies around our lunar neighbor. Send it back over to you.
Okay.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay, now.
That last
I had to stand until we take care of the spider. I was well worried there. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Spider, 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 spider.
We are back in our new
Go hang up a spider.
joining us now is Philippe Delou, IFA's program manager.
30 minutes to launch. Half an hour.
You have quite the title there, a big title for a big job, I'm sure.
Oh,
We are very glad to
so
have
sorry.
you here.
I didn't know if I was going to get stung or bitten by a spider.
Send humanity farther than ever before. Philippe, how is it getting us there?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So, yes, the service
Oh, man.
accommodates the propulsion system.
Am I going to get stung?
System that contains among the tanks and pressurization of the system.
I owe you marvelous spider. Okay. I'm just waiting for this thing to go off. Come on. 30 minutes, half hour. Who's the viewers? It's gonna launch at 1:04 or something like that. It's gonna launch in 30 minutes. 30 minutes.
Sorry, attitude control and trajectory correction.
Come on. Come on.
In addition to the propulsion system,
Please. That's had so many challenges in our history. Let's be so very specific on that thing. Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars, let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. Oh, sorry. It's still recording. Come on. I want this thing to go off. Let's go. Space Coast. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I want this to work.
You also have a team. We're going to bring up a picture
Sorry.
right now, or a live look inside ESA's control room in the Netherlands. So can you tell us what is your team working on today?
Yes, well, the ESA team
Come
is
on.
not only back in the Netherlands, it's one aspect, but we have also a significant team in the control room in Johnson in the
There's so many moving parts to this mission.
Their role is to monitor
So many moving parts.
telemetry from the
That's a lot of specificity. Wow, I want Ethernet wasn't really a problem back in the Apollo days. So Ethernet was not invented then. Someone has really... I mean, if they didn't test everything so thoroughly, they wouldn't be going ahead with this. 28 minutes. Come on.
Recommendation to be brought to the mission management team for a decision on how to operate the vehicle forward.
Great. We're really glad to hear that your teams are monitoring here, Johnson in the Netherlands as well.
Golly.
And this has been a huge collaboration. There were 10 countries that contributed to the European
10
module.
countries, yeah.
Indeed, it was a real teamwork.
I know I want to be able to move around and such.
Well, together with the prime contractor, we have selected the finest companies available in Europe to build the state-of-the-art equipment which is needed to
Golly.
go back to the moon with humans.
Right, we're going back to the moon and farther even beyond. Thank you so much, Philip. Really appreciate you being here tonight.
Come on, I want this to work.
Thank you very much.
Of course. Megan, back to you.
Now it's time to check back in with Mission Control in Houston. Leah, how are things over there?
Things are good over here at Johnson Space Center, which is just one part of an agency-wide effort with many NASA programs doing their part to make future missions a reality. When the first woman and first person of color travel to the moon, they'll be wearing a state-of-the-art launch and entry spacesuit called the Orion Crew Survival System.
Okay, that'll be nice.
They'll be in another all-new next-gen suit, both being developed at the
Something
Johnson Space
to
Center
do
and
with luxury.
commercial providers. During those spacewalks, astronauts will collect samples for further study of the moon. The astromaterials research
So a lot of tech was invented during the space race. It's that's now I mean that's like a few trillion times the power of the computers that first took humanity to the moon, and now we're going back.
More than a dozen non-American companies are developing science investigations and tech demos. Additionally, we need a sustainable presence, a station in order to facilitate continuous
Lafort says, why are you picking on Russia? Because they invaded Ukraine.
This is where Gateway comes in. It's a multi-purpose lunar space
They
station
invaded
built by a
Ukraine.
worldwide effort led out of JS. NASA is again teaming up with international and commercial partners to create this essential component. Artemis and Gateway will enable NASA's Human Research Program to better understand how the human body adapts beyond low Earth orbit, ensuring future astronauts traveling to the moon must have the tools to keep healthy and thrive in new environments. And with that, we're going to turn it back over to Megan and Kayla.
It's 25 minutes to launch.
Thank you so much. So Artemis will
Come on.
facilitate new
It's the entire run time of Frosty the Snowman.
What we're hoping to learn. We have Sarah Noble here. She's the Artemis Lunar Science Lead. Great to have you here. Thanks.
Can't win a war with Russia. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so we learned a ton about the moon during
But you can. Nothing is impossible. Lafort, right? Ukraine pushed back against Russia so hard that that the fight is now occurring in Russia itself. They were prepared to. Wait a second. What did you say? It results in all losers.
Now that we're headed back to the moon, human beings as part of the Artemis program.
Don't feel like I'm so cynical. All I want to do is have a moment of hope before, right? People live longer when you have hope. They do better on tests. They are smarter. They can do many great things. Hope is such a powerful tool.
Where we think that water and other molecules
Water on the moon.
and we really want to understand what those are.
Nope.
So that we can use them for both science and
Come on, I want this to work.
Sarah, we're also planning to land a rover at the south pole of the moon in late 2024. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. The Viper rover, the Volatiles Investigating Polar Exploration Rover, is going to land near the south pole.
23 minutes.
It's going to dip into them, drill down, try to find out.
Of course, that belonged to Frosty and the children. That point must be made very clear. Sorry. Hocus was entirely right in what he was about to do.
So some people might say, we have all these rovers, we have access
That looks so beautiful.
that can do a lot of the work on the surface.
Susan Kane, eh? Who's the...
humans to the moon?
Yeah, it's not an either-or proposition, right? There are some things that robots are better at, and some things that humans are better at. And it turns out that humans are much better field geologists. We're really much more efficient and better at that. Plus, we can do better. We can deploy more complicated instruments, and we can use tools in ways that it's very difficult for robots to do. So we can collect better samples. And one of the great things is that we can bring back a lot of samples. Right? When we do robotic sample return, it's usually a very small amount. But if you look at what we brought back from Apollo, it's a large amount of samples that literally hundreds, probably maybe the thousands of scientists have been able to study over the years and over generations. And that's a lot of brain power to put behind those samples.
Yeah.
Artemis and Apollo are different. Now we're utilizing machines and the people.
That's right.
For whole advance, yeah.
Golly.
Sarah, thank you so much for your time.
Let's make this work.
So in honor of our destination, the moon, we asked you all to create moon-inspired content and share them with us using the hashtag #NasaMoonSnap. We have so many wonderful submissions.
Come on.
So why don't we check them
Let's
out?
go. Light test one soon. Oh. Oh. It's not like AI art. What the aliens? Come on! Don't give us any conspiracy theories, Lafort, right? Don't give me conspiracy theories, okay? AI art. This is a complex endeavor. I know it's gonna work. I feel like I can do it. NASA feels like they could do it. Never been this close to the launch before. No, always they never been this close to the launch of that specific spacecraft
That was
before.
a really cool look at all the different kinds of creations, recipes.
Come on, let's go. Recipes.
To see what people submitted.
Yeah, it's awesome to
Golly.
see the creativity out there and how people are engaging with this mission in so many different ways.
Yeah. So I know that you didn't submit it yet, but you did create a moon snap, sort of, so to say. So why don't we take a look at that picture?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite pictures of the moon that I was able to take from orbit. I think for me, it kind of reminds me of that iconic picture of moonrise or Earthrise from the moon from Apollo. And it's kind of that in reverse. I think there's something about seeing the moon from orbit around the Earth that makes it seem a little bit easier to imagine what it'd be like to have that view from the moon looking back at our home planet.
Yeah, you should definitely submit that because
20 minutes.
Take that yourself.
I want to fix everything.
Wow.
20 minutes.
Great.
Come on. You can count down with me.
So I haven't taken a moon snap, so I have nothing to submit. So how do you feel about creating moon snap with me?
Let's do it.
All right, well take that.
How much carbon is this rocket gonna emit? Well, I prefer not to think so much about that. I want to have a white Christmas in Georgia. And everyone's going all sustainable these days. It's like a big requirement, and it also makes business sense for them to go all sustainable.
SpaceX, Crew 4 in April, and then Crew 5 last month.
Oh, we got 2 viewers. Who are our 2 viewers? Oh, golly. Come on. I don't know what. Come on. Oh. Stop with these conspiracy theories, LaForte. Oh. Who's our other viewer? Who's our second viewer?
And then in September, we intentionally slammed the DART spacecraft into asteroid Dimorphos. Boom, look at that. And we successfully changed its course. The asteroid wasn't headed for Earth, but the test was to show we could defend our planet if needed.
Defend our planet.
Other missions that benefit the Artemis program. Last week, we tested a new inflatable heat shield that could help us eventually land humans on Mars. And just 2 days ago, Capstone arrived at its intended orbit around the moon. The small satellite launched from New Zealand in June and will now test a unique lunar orbit for a future space station there.
Future space station around the moon. That's, you know, I have a space hotel. Yeah, billionaires can play on the moon, play in space and stars and stuff like that. But they have the power to combat the world's problems. A lot of people have to combat. I prefer to look at the positive side of things. It feels so hard to be positive when everybody is just trying to motivate you. Be negative, be negative. But it's okay to turn off the news. To me, this is exciting. Come on, who's our second viewer? Alright. Just to take a look at me, here's me, and I'm ready to go on this, ready to see this rocket launch. Come on, 17 minutes and 40 seconds and counting, T-minus. Come on, let's go. Observation windows, external robotics, and more. Let's go, let's go, let's go. More science to be conducted on and around the moon than ever before. And come on. It will help set the stage for missions to Mars. A highly skilled, diverse corps of astronauts will be selected for Artemis missions, including the first woman and first person of color to step foot on the moon. Aboard Gateway, the crew will What's beautiful to you? What's beautiful to Gen Z? What's beautiful to many different people? Beauty is found within. Ferry them to and from the lunar surface for exciting scientific expeditions near the South Pole. Once on the moon, Artemis astronauts South Pole of the moon. Yeah, find some South Pole elves. Miles Finch, the South Pole elf. I mean, he's just a children's book author, but I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy. I just love Elf. I watch it every year without fail. It's just pure dinglish before he hit it big with Game of Thrones. I was like, nah, I don't want to watch Game of Thrones after I saw some ugly language.
Of our 2-hour launch window, we have a special musical performance for you. America the Beautiful, played in honor of the flight test by the Philadelphia Orchestra and Yo-Yo Ma.
Oh, Yo-Yo Ma. Let's see. America, the beautiful spacious skies, for amber waves of gray, for purple mountain majesties above the fruit and plains. America, 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 God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. Brotherhood, from sea to shining sea, to shining sea. Sometimes I might be a little off, but I don't mind. I love that song. I know the lyrics. Just in symphony orchestra. Come on. Let's go. We're gonna launch. 13 minutes and... Get ready to count down with me, people. It's gonna launch. Well, it's just... Who might be? Golly.
Really beautiful performance. It really has me feeling
Come on.
emotional.
You can do it.
Perfect tribute for tonight.
Wait.
You know, it's just, it gives me a sense of pride, really, to just remember that our country continues to lead our nation in space exploration. So, and as such, the White House is closely watching this historic launch. Earlier this year, Vice President Kamala Harris came down to Kennedy Space Center and met with NASA leadership as well as astronauts. She also toured our facility.
She's not very godmother. I mean, she's not like she could grant all my wishes and Biden is not God, you know.
Spacecraft that will fly on Artemis III.
She started out as a DA or attorney in LA. Not really much of a.
Okay, Kayla. Time for more
she makes a lot of claims. Yeah, sometimes I like to think, ooh, you might be the West. That's what Dad says.
Guys, I'm Jack Black.
Oh, Jack Black.
I'm super excited for the Artemis I launch today. I was part of a little movie called Apollo 10 and a Half, A Space-Age Childhood. And I have a few burning queries. Question the first. How is Artemis different than Apollo?
Artemis is different than Apollo because we're returning to the moon, but this time we're going to stay. So rather than a short visit where we...
No, the same rocket from 1969. I don't really think it's operational as much as it would be. It relies on old technology. You have to be current on the newest technology in order for you to carry out a 21st century moon mission. So, come on. 11 minutes, 40 seconds. I know it's going to work.
How does it feel in space?
Being in space is amazing. I mean, for us launching to orbit around the Earth and then go to the space station, where I just was for 6 months, we're in an apparent microgravity environment. So for us, it feels like we're weightless, like we're floating. So you have to relearn how to live and work in that space. But once you get used to it, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we were just talking, Jessica Watkins, another NASA astronaut.
Have to be very specific.
Saying that actually when you came back on Earth, that was an adjustment as well because you got so used to living on the space station.
Yeah, the transition home was actually a lot harder for me than the transition up there because our vestibular systems kind of remapped.
How are you gonna carry that bone structure?
Because the space environment is so
But a
strange.
human body and weightlessessness, you gotta maintain that health. How are you gonna maintain that health for Mars and stuff? How are you gonna create a How are you gonna create a microgravity? Like,
Daryl, tell us what's happening now.
Yeah, Megan, we actually have about 10 minutes before we go into a half-hour hold. That half-hour hold is part of the L clock, and what you see on your monitor right now, I believe, is the T clock. So in about 10 minutes, we'll hold for a half hour, and currently the launch team is trying to evaluate how much of a delay may result from some issues that we've been facing over the past hour. Just to recap those, we had a leak in the replenish valve on the mobile launcher that feeds into the liquid hydrogen core stage tank. That's been resolved. The leak has been fixed, and we're moving forward. Currently, the upper stage of the rocket for liquid hydrogen is roughly 78% at the moment. So that is tracking. Progress continues there. The core stage has been topped off, and now both liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen are 100%, along with the upper stage of the liquid hydrogen side of the equation. So we're just waiting on the complete tanking of the upper stage liquid hydrogen. Now, with regards to the range issue that we had, we just got an update from the range, the 45th Space Wing officer reporting in to the NASA test director that the Ethernet switch has been replaced. This problematic switch took down their ability to see radar from one of their assets, which is key in getting acquisition and signal for the flight termination system, if it were to be needed. Of course, this is a critical system that has to be tested before we can launch. So at the moment, we're looking still at a 1:04 a.m. Eastern Time launch, but it is pretty clear from the work that is ahead that it looks like we're going to slip into that window. How much exactly, we don't.
It said 104. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think the tape has stopped. Okay. I'm recording. Okay. I was on the countdown. Yeah, give me a second. An old tech meets new. This is and do the other things, not because they're easy, but because they are hard.
Will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills.
It's been 50 years since we've been to the moon, and we've got a great program called Artemis. We're going back. The Apollo program was a test for the American people that you can do what you set out to do. All it took was turning to it, making it happen. We are go for a mission to the moon at this time. Engines on 5, 4, 3, 2,
Come on.
All engines running. Launch commit. Liftoff. We have liftoff 49 minutes past the hour.
I think the characteristic that I remember most of and satisfied was the noise. The noise was enormous and it was almost impossible to communicate.
We're go. Stay high. We're go. Tranquility Base here.
You guys landed.
The landing to me was a great celebration. The nation was almost euphoric.
One step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
There are so many things that we could eventually learn about our universe and the spacecraft that we use exploring.
Okay.
We are a nation of explorers.
Come on.
We were on national TV literally every day because we were doing something visible that Americans could see and they could feel and say, look what we are doing. And I believe Artemis is going to come up and say, look what we are capable of and what we are doing now.
Artemis will stand on the shoulders of Apollo. They're going to have the eyes of the world on them when they start down this trail.
The science of a space flight is one that will continue to inspire. Going to the moon generates technology, more communications, more computer technology, more sophistication in manufacturing that help us in everyday life.
We have a generation that is ready, a generation with that technology, a generation with the education.
My apologies. I had to take care of a little something. I'm waiting for this moon rocket to really go off, you know?
If you're just joining us, welcome to NASA's Kennedy Space Center, where we are showing you a live look of another visitor center. This is the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. Wow, take a look at all of those people who are there hoping to watch the launch today. You know, this is the visitor center for the Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville, Alabama.
Yeah, I used to live in Huntsville, Alabama.
Contributing to the Artemis program.
I even been to the Marshall Space Center. Huntsville, Alabama is where they test the rocket engines.
All right, so now we're going to take go back to Leah Martin over at Banana Creek. Again, that's right outside of our business.
Call it Rocket City.
Some other folks who came out to watch today's launch.
Yeah, you know, Megan, we talked about this being America's rocket, right? Every state in the United States has contributed to this rocket, so it should be no surprise that we have people from all over the country joining us here tonight. I'm actually joined by some friends of ours who are joining us from Georgia and Utah. What does it mean to be here tonight to see tonight's launch?
I think it's amazing. I know that tons of people from all over the United States have helped build the rockets and are here tonight, so it's awesome to know that we all have a little bit of personal ties to the rocket.
And go ahead.
No, I'm just excited to be here because I've been a fan of space travel and going to the moon and back, and I'm glad to see it's happening again later in life.
And you were actually telling me a little bit earlier that you grew up in the Apollo era in those years following those first launches, and now here, how does it feel to be watching the sister program launch and seeing at the beginning?
Look at the goosebumps. That tells it all right here. I'm totally thrilled to be here.
Now,
Okay.
you were actually telling me that you have a personal connection to this rocket as well. You know,
Okay, let's see it go off. I mean,
like being here, how does it feel
12:31 at exactly 1:04 p.m. That rocket is going to launch.
It takes to build it and stuff. Like, I wasn't even born last time people tried to get to the moon, so it's awesome. I think it's so exciting, and I cannot wait.
And we have a ton of people who are working tonight still on call, so we just want to tell them words of encouragement. What more do you have to say?
Oh, I hope this goes tonight.
Megan, back to you.
Go Artemis.
Artemis, yes, I love that. And again, I just love these drone shots.
Actually, they have to launch it at 1:04 p.m. No, 1:04 a.m.
Dan is in the Apollo Saturn V Center, which is
Lafort,
right
right.
next to the crowd that you're seeing here.
Stop trolling me, Lafort. Right. Do not Not making it any easier on me.
Welcome back to the moon board. So, just to recap, SLS out on the
I know they
path
can
onto
do
the
it.
launcher. Daryl's been walking you through.
I know they can do
all
it.
the preparation. We had that
I have
hydrogen
faith.
leak that was in the base of the mobile service structure here. That's been remedied.
Come
we haven't had
on.
any issue with those tail umbilicals that we were tracking so closely back in August and September. So everything looking really
Dude,
good.
you want me to
With
leave?
SLS, just to recap.
No, I don't mind
Most
company.
powerful rocket
It'll
we
be
have ever
interesting to
created.
see what's inside
Solid
that little
rocket
brain of
boosters
yours.
on this core stage. Now these solid rocket boosters
I mean,
are firing for the first
I don't know why you would
roughly 2
think
minutes of the flight, a little more
some
than 2
ways
minutes.
of me.
And we call them solid
I feel like
because of the type of
I
propellant.
want to be
If you
surrounded by
forgot it
people
already,
who
it's
are
aluminum
nice
powder,
and
ammonium
caring.
perchlorate,
I should
and
ignore the
polybutadiene
bullies.
acrylonitrile to
I
bind
don't mind you
nitrogen that's
having you
inside.
around.
Solid propellants
You shouldn't
are
affect me.
stable, they're very reliable, but once you ignite them, they're going to keep burning.
If you are
Throttle
violent,
them up and down like
if you
can with liquid
hurt
fueled
me,
engines. You can throttle
I'll
just
have
based
to
off the distribution.
turn the other
So you
cheek.
basically put more propellant in some areas and less in others.
If
as you're
someone
trying to
steal, that's what
really
Jesus
throttle
said.
the
If
rocket down, which we do
if
as
someone
we go through
slaps you in the
things like
face or
max
something
Q,
like that,
maximum
you should
dynamic pressure.
turn the other
And just
cheek.
a reminder,
And
these things
he
are
taught that
firing.
on the Sermon on the
They can
Mount.
steer, they can gimbal.
Oh, 2,000
The
years
bottom
ago,
part here,
long
gimbal,
time ago.
just means you can really direct. And they're
He walked the
providing
earth
90%
2,000
of the
years
steering
ago.
as SLS is making the flight
Died
uphill,
for my
and more than
sins.
75%
All
of
my
the
all the
thrust
world's sins.
with those two
He
firing
knew
at the
I
same
couldn't
time.
reach
And
God's
again, they're attached to this. This is the
perfection.
core stage, 212 feet tall, the largest single stage we've ever constructed.
It's
been through the green run test.
I want this to
lot of
work.
preparation
12:34. It's the 30 minute.
and
It's
it
30
is
minutes to
propelled
launch.
by these 4
30 minutes to launch.
RS-25 engines. Now these are liquid fueled rocket engines. So you have a fuel and an oxidizer. And one of the great things about
Not the way they
liquid
had
fuel is
to.
you can
They were put on the hold position.
kind of like the gas in your car. You can go faster or a little bit slower. So these throttle up
Come
to
on, let's go.
104% of their rated thrust at the time of liftoff. We throttle them
Come on.
down as we go through max
I don't
use,
know.
the maximum amount of pressure on SLS in the way uphill, and then throttle them back up until they've consumed all of their
Golly.
propellants. And they're
I know
consuming
it's gonna work.
at more than
Oh,
50
golly.
gallons per second. That is just an astronomical amount of fuel that's running through these engines.
So sorry.
Each of these up to 500,000 pounds each during their operation. And of all the different components, we've got this engine block section down here. You have all of the associated plumbing, everything to feed those propellants down to these engines. You also have these two attachment
Very
points
specific
here, and that's where we
on
actually
moving parts,
tank the
and
SLS rocket. So a
it seems
lot of
like
focus
everything's
on those in the
good.
previous attempts. They've cooperated spectacularly so far today, and we've been able to fully tank this core stage. And a reminder, you have a fuel, about 500,000 gallons right here of liquid hydrogen, and then an oxidizer. You need those two together, and then an ignition source. That's what gives you your reaction, your thrust, your basically controlled explosion that then comes out of those rocket engines.
Wow.
So fully tanked. These are cryogenic fuels, hundreds of degrees below zero. We've got a spray-on insulation across the entire vehicle. As it's sitting out there in the Florida air, it's a little bit warm tonight, but we need to keep those hundreds of degrees below zero. It takes a lot of energy to do that, so the less you have to use to keep them cold, the better, which is why we have that insulation. So we're going to be seeing SLS take flight for the first time tonight as we clear all of those final issues. Again, this is going to be one heck of a show when this thing launches into the night sky. So with that, back over to you.
Come on, let's go.
If you're just joining us, welcome to NASA's Kennedy Space Center for live launch coverage of Artemis I. I'm NASA's Megan Cruz, and this is NASA astronaut Kayla Barron. It's been great having you these past 2 hours.
It's been so awesome to be here for this historic launch tonight.
So right now,
We can do it.
T0.
We can do it.
Had to work through some
12:36.
issues, and they're doing a great job at working through those issues. So now we're just waiting to see a new T0, since we had been aiming for the top of the launch window, which opened does open at 1:04 a.m. Eastern time. Now today is a big deal. Apollo 17 in 1972 was the last time humans stepped foot on the moon. That the rocket you see right there behind us, illuminated in the darkness there, is the first step back towards getting us to the moon.
It's going to go around the moon and come back. That's what's going to happen, foot right.
Here at Kennedy Space Center, the Space Launch System, or SLS rockets, and the Orion spacecraft. We will send an uncrewed Orion spacecraft farther beyond the moon than any of the Apollo missions before it. For Artemis II, Orion will have
About 45 days, 40 days, 35 to 45 days, something like that. They want to try to get as much data as possible before sending humans up there.
It's a super interesting place to study. It can tell us a lot about the Earth, its own formation, but also more about our solar system.
Come on,
and
we can do it.
Return this time in an international partnership for a permanent presence on the lunar surface that'll teach us everything we need to know to travel onto Mars.
Oh, you're just a
And what about for you? I mean, you have the possibility of maybe being selected for those future missions because the Artemis program can choose from any of you guys, any of the NASA astronauts.
It's a crazy time.
Oh, I'm
I can imagine that could be real. I think for all this
I'd be very specific.
doing this, we're just a small representation of
I'm not
all
gonna,
of the amazing human beings around the world that
I'm not going to
as audacious as returning to the moon, learning what we need to go onto Mars.
yeah.
So we're just all excited
I think it went long when the in one Simpsons episode where Homer goes to space. He kind of screwed up. I mean, we were checking out, and then he went on there. He's like, and he don't open a bag of chips in outer space. No, you don't. I'm so sorry. Something tickled my throat.
Coming in faster and hotter than any human-rated spacecraft in history, and so we really want to see.
They're so specific with that.
All the systems can keep the crew safe.
It has to be so specific with that joystick. It's gonna launch.
Keeping watch over the entire
Yeah, you're totally right, Right, even the ants escaped as well.
One female engineer in the firing room. Today's launch of Artemis I is led by NASA's first ever female launch director. Take a look at how she and other women across NASA are shattering glass ceilings.
That episode is called Deep Space Homer, mind you. I'm not like a Simpsons fan, but I do know certain things about it. I do know I'm a lot smarter than Homer Simpson. I'm a lot smarter than him. I went to college. Got a degree in Bachelor's of Science in Computer Science. I have a 6-year experience in software engineering, software development.
Wonderful women pioneers, so many heroes to me. Some of the most amazing women in my eyes are people like Katherine Johnson and the other women that you've seen in Hidden Figures.
Sometimes it's difficult to believe that I'm on this side now, wearing this blue flight suit with all of the other astronauts, representing this iconic image that had so inspired and excited me my entire life.
You have to be very specific.
Was just such a big thing for me growing up. I've always looked up to Sally Ride and Mae Jemison, who really laid the foundation to allow people like me to be in the position that I am now. All of these women were pushing those boundaries and breaking those glass ceilings.
Now, of course, there are some fantastic women in leadership positions that inspire me.
You have to be very specific with that joystick. I think everything's a lot more automated since the Apollo days.
During the Apollo 11 launch, we had one woman, one out of 400 engineers in the room. And look at our team today. It's much more a reflection of the world that we live in.
A big piece of why it's so important to have women and diverse backgrounds, because it allows us to bring everybody along with us on this journey.
It doesn't really matter what you look like. If you've got the brains and you have the knowledge, we need you at the table.
We are at such an exciting time in space flight right now.
Do you think I'm unqualified to be a software? What's the input lag on the joystick? You might have to ask Buzz Aldrin that question on Twitter. Yeah, Twitter. Now owned by Elon Musk. And people are freaking out. And I hear something about Twitter wanting to do a video platform of sorts.
It still feels pretty surreal to think that I might one
Video platform. Like, they want to compete with YouTube, but yeah, they're not really going to allow anyone to upload whole copyright in movies. But some people could break that rule. Twitter rocket to Mars, SpaceX. Elon Musk has SpaceX. Elon Musk has Tesla, and Elon Musk now has Twitter. It's it's sort of crazy. Come on, I don't. What's beauty to you, girls, women?
I just actually love that I don't feel like a woman at NASA. I just feel like a person at NASA.
The women of NASA are artists, and we make a difference every day.
I don't mind you.
I'm the
I don't.
scientist of space biology. I'm the director of NASA's Johnson Space Center.
I am Artemis.
I am Artemis.
私はアルテミスです。Yo soy Artemis.
Us, some Artemis.
Anna. Je suis. Ich bin
Artemis.
I know you can. I know you can do it.
I just love the way that
I know you can do it.
You and all these other women saying, I am Artemis.
I feel like women can do anything. I'm so. Guess I'm so sick of
I think it just represents how far we've come since the
old
Apollo
school
era,
misogyny.
and how we take advantage of the incredible diversity our country has to offer. Having seats at the table for everyone, spaces for everyone. You heard that a few times in the video, and I think we're proving that out every single day. In our work, not just at NASA, but with our international partners. I think it's so important.
Why the heck would they try to have me? No. Sometimes I wish I want people to really see a worth in someone who has autism.
Former astronaut and NASA's deputy administrator. So why don't we head over to Jasmine Hopkins because Pam is there with her now.
20 minutes to launch.
Yes, I'm honored now to be joined by Pam Milroy, NASA deputy.
They are trying to force women to like things they aren't interested in. The footlight. Come on, come on. Women have a tendency to choose. Women have a tendency to choose what things they want to go in. I don't know. I don't know. There's this really old school thing called the patriarchy, and then people are like, women can do a lot of things. Then there's like the women's rights thing, 1960s, and 1973 or something like that, and then women started to gain more rights, and now we're seeing some unique, diverse, unique talent.
I just cannot even imagine the inspiration, though, for a little girl. I mean, it never occurred to me that I wanted to be an astronaut, but of course there were no women astronauts then. I think what's going to happen now with the Artemis generation is that first woman and the first person of color is just going to have a huge impact on the next generation.
Right, we are just watching with bated breath, and I know that it's going to mean so much to little kids.
Come on.
Them. And we understand too, this is a huge, when we launch Artemis, it's going to be a global accomplishment. We have the Artemis Accords, which are helping us make sure we explore peacefully. Can you tell us more about those?
United for Peaceful Exploration of Deep Space. Slovakia Accords. I know the Slovakia Accords. I know more about the Paris Accords.
And so what we do with
I think I hear too much about the Paris Accords. Maybe I just want a white Christmas in Georgia. I want snow on the ground. Why they put snow on every single advertisement and image that comes up when you get around to the holiday season and Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and all those other holidays, including Three Kings Day. That's why they call it the holiday season. There's like 14 religious holidays going on. I know. I don't know why they would make holiday a verb. Like Walmart and Target, why would they make holiday a verb? Yeah, I can accept it as a noun or an adjective, but why a verb?
You actually taxi it out to the end of the runway and then run.
Come on, I can do it.
And come back and check all the data.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold it.
This is a little bit like taking off and going to fly a full mission on your very first flight of an aircraft. And so everything has to be right. So this compares very, it's very similar to the experiences that all new rocket developments have. Where, it's not just about learning the hardware, that's a big piece of it, but it's also about gelling that team together and your procedures and how you're going to deal with issues that come up. Because
come on.
They always come up.
Exactly, and you have that experience as
Oh,
a
there's
test
a lot
pilot,
of
but also as a former astronaut. In that video, we saw you getting your induction into the Astronaut Hall of Fame, which is pretty cool. So what is your perspective, or what advice do you have for the Artemis astronauts, those ones that are going to maybe set foot on the moon?
Oh, well, they don't need my advice. I'd love to elbow them out of the way and go to the moon too. But they are fantastic. I mean, I'm so proud of all of our astronauts. I was just talking to Jessica Watkins, who just came back on Crew 4. This generation is prepared, ready, and excited. And I think they're really excited that we're putting science front and center in the Artemis program too. We're going to learn so much about the solar system from the moon and even about the Earth. And so I think the astronauts are really excited about doing that hands-on science. And they are ready to go.
Right, I know they're ready to go, and maybe you are as well. But Artemis 1 is just the beginning. Then we have Artemis 2 and on. We're learning so much. What do you think about this forward movement that we're making right now?
Well, it's really important. This is the Artemis campaign is actually part of a multi-decade effort that we're doing right now, which is really with the goal of creating a blueprint for how we're going to explore with humans and do science throughout the solar system.
15 minutes.
Through the Artemis campaign on the moon, and then we're going to go demonstrate it on Mars, and then the next destination, who knows where.
Right. I mean, we're going so much further than we ever have before. Pam Milroy, thank you so much for joining us.
Come on.
Thank you.
Come on.
Of course, go Artemis. Megan,
We can do this.
Thank you both for that interview.
Do you want us
Now,
to
team
get
over at
off this
NASA's Johnson
planet
Space Center
and
also
then
monitoring today's
find a new world to
launch
settle on?
there with
I don't know.
Leah, to tell us what's going on over there.
Thanks, Megan. And you're right. Teams here at Mission Control Houston continue to monitor today's events. Again, they will really kick into action once we have liftoff, and they'll remain on console all the way through splashdown. But quickly, I have to show you something, a little show and tell. It makes me feel like the coolest kid. In school, I've got a moon rock here. I hope you can get a good shot of it. It is from Apollo 15, 1971. And when it was brought back to Earth, it was part of a larger rock. In total, it was 21 pounds. This is, of course, a smaller section of that. But we're looking forward to the Artemis program and being able to go back to the moon so that we can continue to gather these kinds of samples. But this time at the lunar site.
Come on.
We've never been there, and we've never brought samples back
All
from
right.
that area. So
I know I want to want this thing to launch. Golly. Oh, the battery's running out. 33%. I have to charge it once it finally launches.
For the first time earlier this year, so that we're able to test with new technology everything that we can learn about these samples that we brought back.
That's a long battery life.
So hopefully within the next few years, we're bringing some new ones back to use that same experimental process on and tell us a bit more about
I'm just
I
don't want to feel like I'm copyrighted on that stream.
Rock. We're looking forward to having
you.
some Artemis ones here at the Space Center. With that, I will send it back to you at KFC.
You were a cool kid before you even had the moon rock, so.
Okay,
I'm a cooler kid. Now, the name Artemis was chosen because in Greek mythology, she's the twin sister of Apollo. NASA's Leo Martin is over at the nearby Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex, where thousands have gathered to watch today's launch attempt.
Hi, Megan. I'm actually joined here tonight by a very special group of guests here from Stennis visiting Kennedy Space Center. Why don't you tell me, Ryan, what it is that ties you to tonight's launch?
So we were lucky and privileged enough to be able to test the core stage of the SLS rocket that's going to launch today. We got to green run, which is a full duration hot fire. It's a very historic time for us at Stennis. It was so exciting to be a part of it. 7 years of hard work by a lot of really great people.
And Jack,
Yeah, just so excited to be here to see it.
And Jack, you were actually telling me that you know firsthand, how much work has gone into tonight's launch. What does it feel like to be here tonight, seeing the rocket fully integrated on the pad, ready to go?
Man, I'm just incredibly grateful to be a part of this history and just really excited to see this thing launch.
I'm great. I'm ready to see this thing launch too.
Also firsthand, the adversity that these teams have overcome to be here tonight. Do you have a word of encouragement, anything that you'd like to say to the teams all across the United States right now, both at Kennedy and at JSC, who are just sitting in these seats ready to get the rocket launched tonight?
Sure, persevere. I mean, it's hard work, but it's so well worth it.
You can do this. Come on.
Trying to get ready for this moment, and I think we forward that information to those guys. And
Countdown's gonna resume 12:54. Let's
Thanks so much, Barry. And I think it would be great if just on the count of three, we can give them a great big go, Artemis. 1, 2, 3.
Go, Artemis.
Back to you, Megan.
That was amazing. And that's just, people who were actually able to come here to Florida. There's many people who are joining us from around the world who couldn't obviously make the trip out here. So let's take a look at some of those watch parties there. Here's Space Center Houston. It's the visitor center over for Johnson Space Center in Houston, and you can see a lot of people there after hours because that visitor center is closed right now. People are waving. I love it. Wow, look at that. Whatever that is, it's
awesome.
amazing.
I don't think I've ever noticed that when I'm at Space Center Houston. Maybe it's new.
I know. But yeah, just look at that crowd. It's really fun to see, again, all these people who are captivated, young and old, by today's launch attempt and the beginning of the Artemis program. I know that they're probably looking at the clock and wondering when we might see the launch today. So lovely to see all those people.
Okay.
And there's the Space and Rocket Center, where we have a ton of people waving their flags, cheering us on tonight for
Come on.
I love that. They totally look like cheerleaders, and they're embracing it. I love it.
Come on.
Yeah, this is the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. This is the visitor center over in Huntsville, Alabama. As I've said before, Marshall Space Flight Center there is super instrumental in what the Artemis program is doing. They contributed a lot to the mission, so it's nice to see everyone there. And then here is Airbus in Bremen, Germany. So Airbus is the main contractor for the European Space Agency, and together the company and ESA, they provided the European Service Module, which is an important part of the Orion spacecraft. So we have quite a bit of people there, a more reasonable time over there in Germany.
I want this thing to go. Yeah, 104.
So I'm going to say
104.
Guten Morgen to them. Did I say it right?
Yeah, let me continue holding it.
In Bremen, Germany, again, the Airbus company. All right, so let's get another check on the launch team with our Daryl Nail, who's inside there and has an update for us.
Yeah, that's right, Megan. So we are clearly in a delay now. The NASA test director, who's basically flying the ship for the launch countdown tonight, has said that we are extending the hold that we were currently in at T-minus 10 minutes and counting. And so that puts us off the 1:04 a.m. Eastern Time launch. We're now slipping indefinitely into the hold. And NASA test director Carlos Monge saying that we are currently estimating how much work needs to be done before resuming the polling that is supposed to take place 15 minutes before launch. It then goes to terminal count at T-minus 10 minutes. Now we've got an update on the tanking of the upper stage liquid hydrogen tank. Currently 95% filled. We're in topping on that tank. It is the last of 4 tanks in the Space Launch System that needed to be completely fueled up before we launch. Of course, cryogenic tanking, a complex operation that has seen some delays tonight. We had a roughly hour delay after the replenish valve on the core stage liquid hydrogen side required hands-on work.
Okay, I'm going to
It went out to the launch pad.
I'm gonna go ahead and go to this
and got it fixed
hang on, be right back.
before leaving the launch pad, and then launch team verifying that work was complete. Now currently we're awaiting some work with the range. the 45th Space Wing, which oversees the range here, makes sure that the airspace and the ocean out over the flight path is clear, and also has the responsibility to destruct the rocket should it go off track. And they have been working on some issues with their equipment and sending a flight termination signal to the rocket. There's testing that must happen with the flight termination system that was delayed by a bad Ethernet switch. The switch has been changed out, and now the range is looking to start testing their connectivity to the rocket in order to preserve that safety function that they are responsible for. So again, we are slipping now indefinitely into the launch window. We're awaiting the launch team to evaluate just how much time is required to complete the work to get this rocket ready to launch. Of course, we have a new T0 for you. We'll report that out right away. Megan, back to you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Come on, we're
going
going to the launch
explore the
window.
moon. Here's a look at the spacesuits and tools that will help us to do that.
Please.
Watching Apollo footage of astronauts doing geology on the surface of the moon is a really great way to think about preparing for Artemis, for putting people on the lunar surface once again. We learned a lot in how they did science operations on the moon and what it's like to work on the moon. You see them doing geology. You see them taking rock samples, putting in a drive tube to take a core sample. You see them bouncing along the surface of the moon on the lunar rover that they used in Apollo 15 through 17. So it's a great way to help drive technology development for the next generation of spacesuits and geology sampling tools.
There's these facilities that help us train like we are on the lunar surface. You know, these 1.6G offload systems or putting people in the aquatic environment are great ways to train the mobility part, right? Like, what can you do and how different does it feel to be in 1.6G and do these tasks?
We've been training astronauts in geology.
It's just the hold. Just to get everything fixed.
The Apollo astronauts had literally hundreds of hours of training in geology before they flew to the moon. It's often said that the Apollo astronauts had the equivalent of a master's degree in geology by the time they flew to the moon. In the intervening decades since Apollo, we've been training astronauts who fly to the International Space Station because when they're on the ISS, they spend time observing the Earth, looking out the window, taking pictures of what they see on the Earth's surface. Now that we're looking at putting astronauts on the surface of the moon, we also take them into the field. We take them to field sites here on Earth that resemble field sites that we expect them to see on the moon.
That's the reason why we take them out into places that are unique, like volcanic landscapes or places that are analogous to the lunar surface, to train them on the scale and fidelity of science that you just can't recreate in these facilities.
And so by combining this classroom and field training, we're able to prep them for fundamentals of geology, the major driving lunar science questions that we have that we hope to address with the Artemis program, and teaching them how to do field work in relevant analog
I got the mountain
Just
level.
science aspects of developing new spacesuits can it get you to where you need to go, and then once you get there, can you do the cool science that you need to do? And so that's, can you move effectively and efficiently in the suit to be able to collect the samples or use the tools or the instruments? For the visibility, it's like, can you make the necessary observations that you need to, or does the suit have the lights on it that it needs to illuminate the surface and make the observations you need to? The lunar South Pole holds tremendous resources that are going to allow us to continue to explore. This is a place that we've never been before. There's so much to be learned from getting boots on the ground and exploring a unique place that challenges us as humans and also helps us develop technologies that make our everyday life that much better.
We think there might be volatiles present at the South Pole. By using these volatiles, we'll be able to do things like create drinking water, create rocket fuel to launch astronauts back to Earth. And so by harnessing the power of the land, we'll be able to help astronauts establish that long-term sustainable presence.
Okay. Please launch. Please launch. Please.
nature to explore. Pushing our boundaries and exploring our universe is, I think, just one of those things that's just stuck in our human nature, and that we need to do it in order to understand the world around us.
A 2-hour launch window.
Solar system.
We just heard there how curiosity is just a part of us. So, with that in mind, why don't we do some social questions? Because some people are very curious to hear what you have to say about their question. So why don't we pull up the first question here? What are your thoughts on the responsibilities that come with going to space?
Come on. I want to see this thing launch.
The opportunity to travel to space comes with a lot of responsibility. I think for all of us, it's a huge honor to be a part of these teams, and the work we're doing is so critical in supporting scientific discovery on the ground. So on the International Space Station, we're a national laboratory. Our crew executed over 350 different scientific experiments during our 6-month mission. And so when you think about that, it's years of work to get one of these payloads or an experiment on the space station. And sometimes that's someone's life's work you're holding in your hands and executing. And so being prepared for those moments is really important.
I don't look like they're gonna. Yeah, but they just gotta fix everything before they go.
We take that really, really seriously. And of course, we want to share what that experience is like. Only a few people have been able to go to space. And as we commercialize space, as low Earth orbit becomes more accessible, that'll change. But still, it's only available to some of us. So we really want to share what that's like and the perspective we gain from our time up there.
It's really great to see and hear that you guys acknowledge that, right? Like that this
Well,
experiment that you're
we enter the launch window to 2 hours.
Somebody has been working on literally for years. I mean, I've talked to some scientists and they're saying, oh, this has been my life's work, 20 years of my life's work. So yeah, that was a really good question. I like that question a lot. Okay, we have another one from social media here. Astro Kayla, have you considered what you might say if you had the opportunity to be the first female to set foot on the moon's surface?
No, I have not considered that. If I was in that role, it's something I would take really seriously. I think the iconic words of Neil Armstrong, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, are something that we all know, whether you witnessed that moment or not, or it happened before you were born. For me, I think we all have that embedded in our psyche, those important words. So I think it's something I would have to think a lot about ahead of that mission.
Yeah, that would be in the history books. That'll be something you're remembered for. Oh my gosh, I'd be so anxious delivering it even after I've thought of what I want to say. Like to open my mouth and say it from the
What's happened now? They're in a hold. The foot right, they're in a hold. We entered the launch window.
Oh, why is the spacesuit orange in color?
That's an awesome question that I wish I knew the answer to. Megan and I were actually talking about that earlier when we had Snoopy up here. It's a continuation of the same suit that we used during the shuttle era, and I was kind of hypothesizing that maybe it's to help forces if for some reason when we landed in the water we had to get out of the capsule for some reason, it would be easy to see us. But that I'm gonna have to take a phone a friend on that one, I think, to know the real answer. I'm sure somebody will be on social media. Right,
they have to fix something before they launch.
Does it have anything to do with SLS?
Got like a launch window of 2 hours 58 minutes. They got that much time.
We got stuff done. Do we have another question? All right, if you could name one of the moon's craters, what would you name it?
Oh man. What would you name it, Megan?
My phone is at like 25%. Can't get the staff these days. Hang on. I'm gonna have to go to
That's a pretty big responsibility, I think, to name these geological features. And a lot of the craters on the moon already have names. So I'm sure there's some that maybe they haven't.
Yeah. I had to put it in the charger. Okay.
Like we're gonna be
my apologies.
The edge of Shackleton Crater as part of Artemis.
Shackleton.
So a lot of them are already named and mapped.
Yeah. Thanks for throwing it back on me. I was like, I don't know. Do you think like our parents or husband or fiance are now upset that we didn't say them?
No, I mean.
Okay.
I don't think
106. 107.
All right. These are big decisions.
All right. Last question here for this segment at least. What will Orion do when it gets to the moon?
So for this mission, Artemis I, it's actually going to orbit the moon and then go into a distant
Come on.
and so it'll get really close. It's
I want
close
this to
62
work.
miles and then go way past the moon and way deeper into space than we can. So yeah, the Orion will be checking out all of its systems. We're going to be analyzing that data from the ground, and then we're going to see that it can survive re-entry and a successful splashdown off the coast of San Diego.
Yeah, that was a good question.
Off the coast of San
Okay,
Diego.
well again, just keep those questions coming. You know, we're entering into this launch window, and we do have time, so we'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to try at least to answer most of your questions. So you've been hearing throughout the broadcast all the different science that returning to the moon will enable us to do. So there's actually something called the Prime 1 mining experiment, and that's going to robotically look for ice and other resources below the lunar surface.
NASA's first polar resources ice mining experiment, also known as Prime 1, will robotically look for ice and other resources below the lunar surface. Thanks to data from spacecraft orbiting the moon, scientists believe that the polar regions contain water ice in the form of ice just below the surface. With the right technologies, that ice is a game-changing resource that can be mined and used to produce propellant and breathable oxygen for future explorers. Under NASA's Commercial Lunar Payload Services Initiative, the agency selected intuitive machines to fly and land Prime 1 on the moon's south pole. Prime 1 will land near the Shackleton crater to drill into the lunar soil in an area that could contain water ice. Prime 1 is made up of
Come on. I want this thing to launch already. I don't have to fix everything to get everything right before resuming the countdown.
Trident will drill up to 3 feet into the lunar surface.
They can do it.
Extract lunar
They
soil,
can do what they
and
can
bring it
do
up
what
to
they
the
can help
surface.
us in duality and
Trident drills
make
to its
it
maximum
up
depth
down
in
make it.
multiple phases, stopping at different
This old school.
increments. As it reaches each desired depth, it will pause and retract the drill string to the
We should have had a moon base by now. It makes me sad.
This is where M Solo comes in.
I believe they can do it.
Off-the-shelf mass spectrometer modified for
They can do it. They can get to the moon. I can launch it.
For water and other chemical compounds.
Be patient.
Trident will then proceed to the next specified depth.
Patience, dear. Don't hurt me. No one's gonna hurt me.
NASA will still collect valuable information about drilling into the lunar soil for a future mission. NASA's Viper, the Volatiles Investigating Polar Exploration rover, will use Prime 1 technology on a mobile robot that will navigate the moon's south pole, searching for additional resources. Prime 1 data will help NASA assess lunar resources to inform future Artemis missions and a robust human presence on the moon.
So we are still awaiting a new T0 for today's launch attempt, but for more on what to expect when we launch for this first day, let's go to NASA's Dan Hewitt. He's inside our Apollo Saturn V Center.
Come on.
Hey, thanks, Megan. Everybody, welcome back to the moon board. There's a lot of people here in the complex. I just heard a woo-hoo. People are getting in and out because we have a great view of launch when it's going to happen, and it's going to happen today. But that launch is just the first step.
It must have watched a grand day out, right? Unlimited supply of cheese on the moon. Everyone says the moon is made of cheese. It's like no cheese I ever tasted. That says the guy in Wallace and Gromit. Armin.
One of the most visual ones will be these 2 solid rocket boosters. Now they'll expend their propellant a little over 2 minutes into the flight.
Take 2.
Separate. We'll see them flare off to either side, and then the core stage continues to fire. We're also going to see the launch abort system come off the top. Once you get high enough in the atmosphere, it's no longer required. You can actually do abort using engines on Orion and its service module. I will also note that on the launch abort system, it's got those 3 solid rocket motors. The Jetson motor is active. The abort and the attitude ones are not for this flight. We don't have people, so we're not flying a fully active abort system. We also have 3 fairings that are
pulling on IO for this.
Orion, the service module and the crew module.
Come on,
flying up
launch.
through the really dense parts of the Earth's atmosphere. Next up, we'll hit core stage separation.
Come on.
4 main engines will hear MECO, main engine cutoff. Those engines will shut down, the core stage will separate, drop away. It's eventually going to splash down in the ocean. And that hands over the propulsion duties to this, our upper stage, the interim cryogenic propulsion stage, or ICPS. Its first job is to execute what's known as a perigee raise maneuver. So the perigee is the lowest part of your orbit. You have a perigee, that's your low part, and an apogee, that's your highest point. We're going to raise up the perigee, and that's going to actually put us in a nice circular path around the planet. And while we're there, that gives us time to check out Orion. We're flying it in space for the second time, the first time in this fully integrated stack with SLS. We'll be able to look at all of Orion's systems, make sure those solar arrays are capturing the sun's energy and turning it into electrical
Come on, 2 hours, 50 minutes to the launch window.
Communications are working, all of our guidance, navigation, and control. That is your time to make sure you have a healthy spacecraft before you do something that is going to send it to the moon. And that's next up on our list. That's the trans-lunar injection. For today's launch profile, that's going to be a firing of about 18 minutes of that single engine.
Come on.
Now that engine optimized for a vacuum is producing about 24,000 pounds of thrust. It's a pretty big engine, and it's doing that because we need enough energy to be able to send our payload to Orion beyond the low Earth orbit and send it on a path to head out to the moon. Now after that burn is complete, ICPS separates. It's going to do what's called a disposal burn. So it's going to send itself on a path from Earth around the moon and slingshot out into what's known as a heliocentric orbit. So it's going to completely leave the Earth-Moon system and go into orbit around our sun. But after it separates, propulsion duties get handed over to this, the European service module. And it's got a couple of different engines that it's going to be using, and we're going to be testing those out just on day 1. We're going to do what's called the outbound trajectory correction burn 1. And we'll do a couple of these trajectory corrections as we're flying out to the moon, but that first one is that first critical test of this large engine, the orbital maneuvering system engine. That's the one that has the most thrust, generating about 6,000 pounds of force in a vacuum, and that's what's going to be doing a lot of our maneuvers, or giving us that pushing power as we do these maneuvers around the moon to enter into what's known as distant retrograde orbit, or DRO, and that's this dotted line that you see around here. Now we call it distant, basically because of the distance we're away from the moon. We're about 40,000 miles, a little
Fear
bit
leads
less
to anger,
off
anger
the
leads to
surface,
hate,
and then we
hate
call it
leads to
retrograde because the
suffering.
moon orbiting planet Earth in this direction, going in a counterclockwise fashion. We're going to be entering into a clockwise orbit around the moon, opposite retrograde. Now to do that, we're going to get in close, we're going to dip in off the lunar surface. We're going to be about 80 miles, 80 statute miles off the lunar surface as we do this outbound powered flyby. Again, the major thrust coming from that orbital maneuvering system engine. After we do that, we'll do a final maneuver to actually go into that distant retrograde orbit, that DRO. Now, why DRO? Why are we not just going around the moon and coming back on like a pre-return trajectory, which we did on some of the Apollo missions? Well, in DRO, it's a very stable orbit. It doesn't require a lot of fuel to maintain that area around the moon. So it gives you a lot of time to really test the spacecraft. If you followed with any launch of a new spacecraft, you know there's only so much testing you can do on the ground. Once you actually put all of that hardware in space, in the environment that it's going to be operating, hundreds of thousands of miles away from Earth, you're going to learn things you didn't even realize about everything from communications, the life support systems, the thermal control. Everything on a spacecraft needs to get put through its paces in this environment before we put people on board, and that's why we're heading out to DRO. Eventually, though, it's going to be time to come home, and we will do a DRO departure maneuver.
This is a recap of the mission.
System engine and others on the service module, and this is what's going to commit us from leaving the moon and heading on back towards Earth. We'll dip in once more, close off the lunar surface, and slingshot and use the lunar gravity
come
to do this
on.
return-powered flyby. And then, similar to the way out, we can make correction burns as we kind of fine-tune our path back towards the Earth. And then it's time for re-entry. A couple of things happen before that. One of the really critical ones, spacecraft separation. We're going to detach the European service module shortly before re-entry. Its job largely done. That burns up in the Earth's atmosphere and reveals on the crew module the heat shield. I circled it earlier. This is goal number 1 of the Artemis mission. Artemis I mission is testing this heat shield at lunar return velocities, because when we make that trip around the moon and we come back, we are going in speeds of excess of 20,000 miles an hour. So when we slam into the Earth's atmosphere, it's going to heat that thing up to more than 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. For the Artemis I profile, we're going to do what's known as a skip re-entry.
He almost cussed.
Basically, you can come in too shallow,
He almost
skip
cussed.
off the atmosphere to narrow, and you're going to do what's known as a ballistic entry, which really heats things up. We're going to do kind of a mix where we're going to skip once off the atmosphere, and that we're still going to get the heat, but that helps to reduce some of the G loads on the crew. Once you're through that, you get to parachute deploy. There's 11 parachutes in total that are going to slow Orion down before it splashes down. We're going to be going from 20,000 miles an hour to about 300 miles an hour before those parachutes deploy, and then they do a final job of getting it in the water in the South Pacific. We've got these big orange balloons. That's an uprighting system, so even if Orion landed in the water upside down, those can inflate, and they put us back upright into what's known as stable 1. That's where you want your spacecraft to be, nice and upright in the water, especially if you're an astronaut in there floating. Now, we also have a large U.S. Navy ship with a big bay that's going to basically come up and swallow Orion into its deck, and you've got a couple of other assets in the area to help recover hardware, the forward bay cover, parachutes, things like that. But that's scheduled to happen 26 days after a launch today. So that's 26 days from liftoff here in Florida, around the moon, to a splashdown in the Pacific. And that will be the first mission in the Artemis program, the farthest we've ever sent a human-rated spacecraft in history. And just the first episode with people on board. So that's a look at everything still to come. We're counting down to that launch. I'll send it back over to Megan and the team at the host desk, guys.
A very comprehensive look at that. Thank you so much, Dan. If you're just joining us, welcome to Kennedy Space Center and our live coverage of Artemis I, an uncrewed flight test that will return us to the moon in nearly 50 years. But some might ask, why the moon? Well, here's why.
We are going. The history of this agency is marked with broken barriers, once viewed as impossible, with science fiction turned reality, with innovations that have spun industries all their own, and with demonstrations of peace for all humankind.
We soar in the skies of our own planet. We maintain a human presence just outside of gravity, and we touch points all across the solar system and beyond. We're going back to the moon, and this is why.
The moon is a treasure trove of science. It holds opportunities for us to make discoveries about our home planet, about our sun, and about our solar system.
The wealth of knowledge to be gleaned from the moon will inspire a new generation of thought and action.
Without fail, every major program and mission NASA has invested in has led to technologies and capabilities that have shaped our culture.
The breakthroughs of the Artemis era will define our generation and the generations to follow.
The tens of thousands of jobs associated with propelling us to the moon today are just the beginning of a lunar economy that will see hundreds of thousands of new jobs develop around the world.
This is not an ambition of one entity or one country. The exploration of the moon is a shared effort.
Come on.
Woven together by a desire for the greater good. Why the moon? Because the missions of tomorrow will be sparked by the accomplishments of the Artemis generation today. Because the ambition to go has already begun.
and because Mars is calling. We need to learn what it takes to establish a community on another cosmic shore. So let's camp close before pushing out.
And so, we go to the moon now, not as a series of isolated missions, but to build a community on and around the moon, capable of proving how to live on other worlds.
Oh, come on.
More than 50 years of peaceful exploration to send a new generation to the lunar surface to stay.
We will anchor
Oh, I'm waiting.
positioning us for long-term science and exploration of the lunar surface. We will prove what it takes to assemble a
Come on.
in deep space.
I want this thing to launch.
And returning from into space.
We will learn how humans can survive and thrive in a partial gravity environment.
With improved spacesuit designs, mobile habitats, and with reconnaissance robots pre-positioning and relocating supplies.
We will learn how to utilize the resources we find on these little worlds, starting with finding water ice and purifying it to drinkable water.
And finding that to add into fuel and oxygen to breathe. We will establish fission power plants on the surface of the moon, capable of supporting a growing community of efforts. And we will expand the logistics supply chain to enable commercial and international partners
To resupply and refuel deep space outposts.
None of this is simple or easy, but nothing in our history ever has been.
We got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again.
This kind of continuous lunar presence is a natural extension.
Come on.
In low Earth orbit.
Come on.
And what
I'm waiting for this thing to launch.
ensure the monumental missions to Mars
2 minutes,
are within reach
40, 2 hours, 40 minutes into the launch.
of the first Artemis mission, and as commercial companies ready their lunar landers for the first private payload deliveries, we have already begun to take the next step.
That's a lot of people.
Throughout this launch broadcast, our NASA's Leah Martin has been introducing us to people over at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex who have come out for hopefully the maiden voyage of Artemis I. People from near and far, young and old, just really excited to hopefully see this historic flight. So now she's joined by somebody else who has a really interesting story. Leah, tell us about it.
Megan, I think one of the most exciting things about being here tonight is being with people who are like-minded, who have such a strong tie with the history of our nation's space program and their love of spaceflight. And I actually struck up an amazing conversation with Scott here, and you were telling me about the special tie that you have to tonight's launch as well.
Oh yeah, I literally grew up with NASA. My father went to work with the NACA before NASA. Went to work for Dr. Von Braun, followed him over to Marshall Space Flight Center, and became, when it became NASA, he worked on the Jupiter C, Redstone, Saturn I, Saturn V, and then because of that, he brought me here to see Apollo 11 launch. So that was my first launch. I was 5 years old. I loved it. Still remember the sound. That's about all. But and then years later, through my flying career, I was able to bring my sons back with my friends that flew the shuttle, and they saw 5 launches and 4 landings. But basically, I wanted to be here. I was here for the first moon launch, the last moon launch back when Uncle Gene Cernan, our family friend, went to on Apollo 17. So I wanted to be here for this because it's kind of in our family, in our blood, and hopefully I'll be around for the next one when we go and land again. So.
Okay.
Incredible. So you have NASA actually in your DNA. Grew up with the program.
Yeah. I knew most of the German scientists. The kids sat in their lab, Dr. Sterlinger, and my father flew with Von Braun because he was a general aviation pilot as well. So they get off work and fly, and they were in Life magazine together, National Geographic. So it was fun. I literally got to knew Al Shepard, all the Mercury Gemini Apollo guys, and it was an honor. I would have loved to have been an astronaut, but I went a different route, but I can still come here and see them.
We can, and we're so grateful, so thrilled to see you here tonight, and so excited that you will be able to actually compare the last launch and the sound of the last one with the one tonight. It's absolutely going to rock the sky.
Be even louder.
Come on, let's go.
Well, thanks so much for joining us tonight. It's been an honor to
Man,
meet
this
you,
is
and Megan, we're going back to you.
I'm just being so incredibly
Thank you so much for
patient.
sharing that. That was such a fun story. Here we
I
are
mean,
now
so
at
incredibly
Space Center
patient.
Houston.
Patient
This
as
is a live
Dickens.
look inside of the visitor center there. Lots of people hoping to see the launch today. I love this guy in the front with his NASA shirt representing. And again, just seeing children and young and old, just all these people who feel captivated and are excited about our next giant leap into deep space. So glad to have you here. Oh my gosh, I love this.
Yeah, the team in Marshall and Huntsville there is always ready for their shot. Their flags, they're super pumped.
Oh yeah.
SLS program office, so they have a dog in the fight tonight,
They
seeing
do.
Artemis launch for the first time.
Is that an inflatable astronaut in the center?
Yeah, it is.
Somebody's dressed up as an
Look at
astronaut.
that.
Yeah,
They're ready to
representing.
go.
I love
Come
it.
on.
Yeah, I'm so glad that they're there. Again, these visitor centers are closed to the public, but the people there decided to hold a watch party.
Well,
and
look,
I'm
our
excited
friends
to
in
see.
Germany are ready for us this time.
I know.
They
Clapping.
anticipated the delay. They look pumped and ready to go.
So these are employees of Airbus. Airbus is the main contractor for the European Space Agency, and together they provided the European service module for the.
This is taking a long time, but I am being patient.
Thank you so much, guys, for your contribution to the program, and can't wait to see Orion and SLS launch. Okay, so now let's head back over to Daryl Nail over with the launch team so we can hear any updates about a new T0.
Yeah, Megan, thank you. And a clearer picture is starting to emerge as the launch team now reports out that they only have a few minutes left of work to do before they're ready to pick up polling. And we're also hearing that some of that polling, which kicks off with the mission management team, is also now just about 3.5 minutes away. Now, we are currently still in that hold. But the launch team, NASA's test director, is continuing to move the team forward. We've wrapped up work on the upper stage and the lower stage. You're looking now live inside firing room 1, where launch director Charlie Blackwell Thompson is overseeing her launch team. We've had a number of delays that have put us off the T0, but we are starting to track to a T0 close to around a quarter till, top of the hour. But we do need to have some polling that takes place. I'm pausing now because I'm listening in to the teams as they communicate.
Come on, let's go.
In this launch window, which we're currently 26 minutes into, and it's 2 hours long, it runs until 3:04 a.m. Eastern Time. We have what's called 40 cutouts. And in those cutouts, they range from about a second to about a minute. These are times where they can't launch. These cutouts must be accounted for when determining a new T0.
Come on.
The upper stage of the rocket, which was the last to get ready and configured, just recently the team cycled the liquid hydrogen valves, which is required, and they are currently working on the LO2 valves, liquid oxygen valves in the upper stage. That work is almost done.
Come on. You can do it.
We are now a minute and a half away from the poll of the mission management team, which is several minutes before T-minus 15 minutes.
"15 minutes to launch."
When that poll starts, we'll get a clearer picture of RT0.
Come on. Come on, we can do this. I've been waiting so long for this.
NASA's test director has informed the launch team to all switch to a common communication channel. It's called 232. And what this means is that the entire launch team is now on one channel, and all future communication will happen there, whereas there are many channels.
Okay.
They reduce it down to one.
Come on. Wayne New 20. Come on. Come on.
Just heard from NASA test director Carlos Monge. I'm sorry, Jeff Spaulding. Jeff Spaulding's on. They swapped out. There are currently no constraints to launch. Great news. Again, no constraints to launch. And they're getting ready to pick up with a poll to determine readiness for launch.
Wow, you're such a slow speaker. Come on. Come on. I'm pulling an all-nighter for this. 1:34 a.m. in the morning. Come on. Launch, please. You can do it. Being so super duper patient. Being so super duper patient. This guy is non-objective. This guy has no bias. He doesn't really be so harsh about things.
NASA test director Jeff Spaulding getting ready to conduct the readiness poll, so we are getting close. We're going to pull up the audio now so that you can listen in.
Come on.
You go. And rock. Rockets go. All right, copy all. And Launch Director NTD, our launch team is ready to proceed at this time.
I copy all NTD. At this time, I will proceed with my poll. And attention on 232, this is the Launch Director performing the final poll for launch. Verify no constraints and go for launch. EGS Program Chief Engineer.
EGS Program Chief Engineer verifies that the EGS, SLS, and Aurora Program Chief Engineers have no constraints and are go for launch.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Thank you. EGS Chief Safety Officer.
The EGS CSO verifies the SLS, Orion, and EGS CSOs have no constraints and are go for launch.
Copy, John. Thank you. Range weather. Weather has no constraints and weather is go for launch. Copy LWO and Mission Manager.
So many variables. So
And
many.
Mission Manager, Launch Director.
Launch Director, Mission Manager 232. The mission management team has been pulled. You have a go to proceed with terminal count and launch of Artemis I.
I copy all. Thank you.
Let's go. Let's go.
Entity, Launch Director.
Go ahead, Launch Director.
Yes, sir. On behalf of all the men and women across our great nation who have worked to bring this hardware together
Don't-
to make this day possible.
No.
And for the Artemis generation, this is for you. At this time, I give you a go to resume count and launch Artemis I.
Let's go. Let's go.
Launch Director, and thank you. All right,
we do have a couple of steps to configure, and then we will be ready to resume the clock. CVSE, NTD. CVSE here. Initiate recording.
6. What happened to the 7? I just kidding. I love Spaceballs. Come on, come on. It's not time yet. They'll only. Come on.
Rotation enable is complete. And I copy. Thank you.
Okay, so there you heard the poll from Launch Director.
Early.
Getting ready to get that new T0 time.
Come on, let's go.
The poll that you heard was the NASA test director's poll.
All right, and we have verified no cutouts at this time. And all personnel, we are going to resume the clock.
Let's go.
You can resume the clock on your mark.
GLS copies. Countdown clock will resume on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark. GLS mainline has been initiated.
Okay.
T-minus 10 minutes and counting.
We are T-minus 10 minutes away from liftoff of Artemis 1. As you can see, the clock is now moving. Let's put
Come
that
on.
up.
All right, let's go.
T-minus 9 minutes and 47 seconds.
All right, here we go.
Here
Here we go.
47, 44 is the liftoff time.
Affirm.
Let's go. Go, go, go. Let's go, 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 baby.
01:47:44. 1:47 a.m. Eastern Time and 44 seconds.
All right. Okay,
We went straight into terminal count.
oh, we are ready for launch, baby. Let's see this thing go off. All right.
Liftoff now 9 minutes away.
9 minutes away.
So terminal count.
Gotta put a countdown timer on the screen so we can count.
GLS, the ground launch sequencer, a computer and software that is doing all
Yeah,
of the command
here we go. There we go.
and monitoring
There's the
of the
countdown.
Space Launch System.
All right, we are 8 minutes 45 seconds away. We are go for
We'll
launch.
hear call-outs from the GLS operator, Alex Pandalos.
Excited.
As well as NASA Test Director Jeff Spaulding.
I'm excited.
GLS is pre-tensioning the umbilicals at this very moment. You can see them as they run down the rocket. That's getting them ready to detach. At liftoff, those arms will swing away. We'll let go of the rocket in a clockwise direction.
Come on, don't be so negative, LaFour, right? It has not launched yet. We are still go. 8 minutes. All right.
The GLS is performing up to 100 commands per
Okay.
second.
Okay. I'm gonna watch this thing go off.
Configuring ground systems for power transfer to the rocket.
It's gonna rumble like a... Well, I mean rumble on the TV.
GLS is turning on cameras, recording video inside and outside the crew module.
Come on, don't be so negative, LaFour, right? This has been a 3-hour stream.
High flow nitrogen. Clear out any hydrogen gas that may be there.
Come on. Let's go for launch. You can do it.
You can see the
7 minutes.
is already contracted. When there is crew during Artemis 2, it would happen at T-minus 6 minutes. But out of abundance of caution, they went ahead and retracted the arm well ahead of liftoff.
Okay, come on.
I want to point your attention to the base of the mobile launcher. Something wasn't done to reduce the power from the pressure caused by the rocket's ignition and thunderous sound. It could damage the rocket. So the ignition overpressure and sound suppression system will flood the mobile launcher with water. You'll see that sequence start at T-minus 17 seconds. Now coming up in less than 30 seconds, the ground launch sequencer will start bringing the high energy systems online, starting with core stage pressurization.
This is so specific. 6 minutes.
Fireman 1 is completely silent as they listen for the next call.
GLS is go for core stage tank pressurization.
The core stage tank is now pressurizing to flight levels. The replenish valve to the liquid hydrogen tank now closing. The liquid oxygen tank will come a little later. Now we're arming
Let's go.
and transfer to internal power.
Let's go.
The launch abort system, or LAS jettison motor, is now armed. On this flight, the abort motor is inactive because there is no crew on board. Up next is the flight termination system, or FTS, which gives the Space Force the ability to destruct the rocket if it goes in the wrong direction. Let's listen in for that.
5 minutes. NASA has such good faith in this. They wouldn't have tested it so thoroughly, they wouldn't be on the pad if they hadn't tested it so thoroughly. Come on, let's go.
Good work, we passed that. The cryo team got the LH2 engine bleed pressure loop dialed in. They are now at the right temperature for launch. Countdown continues. T-minus 4 minutes, 15 seconds.
Here we go.
Up next, GLS fires up the K2s. Those are high-speed turbines which provide pressure.
I've been waiting so long for this.
Stands for core stage auxiliary power unit start.
4 minutes.
GLS is go for core stage APU start.
That now leads to the thrust vector control test.
That's a lot of moving parts on the rocket.
That can proceed now, and we will see the engines gimbal at the bottom of the core stage.
Come on. Right. Come on.
At T-minus 3 minutes and 10 seconds, you will hear the go for purge sequence 4. That's a helium purge of the 4 core stage engines downstream of the propellant valve, getting the air and moisture out.
It's gonna launch, baby. 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
In just a few seconds, GLS will close the core stage LOX vent, liquid oxygen.
3
White
minutes.
vapor cloud caused from the super cold gaseous oxygen condensing the water in the atmosphere will disappear. You see it coming out there now. And there it goes, it's closed. LOX vent closed. Pressure rising in the core stage LOX tank to flight levels. Coming up in 15 seconds, look at that thrust vector control actuator test. Engines will gimbal. And there they go. The 4 core stage RS-25 engines gimbaling around, testing the ability to steer the rocket into space. They will operate at 109% performance. Each RS-25 throwing down a 500,000 pounds of thrust.
2 minutes.
All together with the boosters, 8.8 million pounds of thrust.
2 minutes.
Now the upper stage has gone to internal power. So power is removed from the rocket's upper stage, the ICPS, and it's been switched to battery power. The same milestone is coming up for the core stage at T-minus 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Come on. I'm excited. Minute and a half.
GLS go for core stage to internal power.
The rocket's core stage, which houses the 3 flight computers, is now on battery power. So there is no more hold time available because there's no more margin on the battery. So if we have a hold, we have to recycle.
It's a minute away, LaFoot, right? A minute away.
Continues. A note now, shortly after liftoff.
A minute away.
1 minute.
Shortly after liftoff, Mission Control Houston will take control of the rocket, and my colleague, Leah Cheshire, will take over commentary. T-minus 50 seconds and counting. Coming up at T-minus 33 seconds, the GLS will hand off control to the ALS. This is the autonomous launch sequencer. On board the rocket, it will take over command and control of the rocket.
37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off, baby! Let's go! Let's go, baby! Come on! Come on, baby! Come on! Come on! Come on! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! You can do it! Come on, baby! Come on! Come on! Go! Go, baby! Go, baby! Go, baby! Go, baby! Go, baby! Go, baby! Come on! Go! 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 Go, man! 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 It's hard to see. Go, man! Go! 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 Come on, baby! Come on! Come on! Come on! Go! Come on! Go! Come on! Come on! Go! Come on, man! Come on! Come on! Come on, man! Go! Come on! Come on! Come on, man! Come on! Come on, man! Come on! Come on, man! Come on! Come on, baby! Come on! Come on, baby! Come on! 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 Come on, baby! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on, baby! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Baby, come on! Come on, baby! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on, baby! Come on! You can do it! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Do you do it? Come on, baby! Go! 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 So, go! 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 Yeah! I want rocket jet boosters. Here we go.
Confirmation that the solid rocket boosters have separated these 177-foot boosters.
It's hard to see at
Now,
night.
continues to power the flight of Orion, all four RS-25 engines firing, traveling over 3,400 miles per hour, 46 miles downrange.
Okay.
2 minutes and 36 seconds into the flight. Hearing nominal calls here in Mission Control Houston. We've still got 4 good engines on the core stage. Next up, we'll be looking for the service module fairing to separate. This is 3 15 by 15 foot fairing panels, providing structural support, protecting the service module. Those will separate at about 3 minutes and 11 seconds into flight, and very shortly thereafter will be followed by the launch abort system separation. Just over 3 minutes into the flight of Artemis I, now traveling over 4,060 miles per hour, 83 miles downrange. We just had confirmation that the service module fairing has separated.
Alright. Oh.
And that the launch abort system pyros have fired, separating those from Orion as well. For future crew members.
What just happened?
We just heard the call for 3-engine press, meaning if SLS were to lose an engine at this point in the mission, we could still achieve a nominal mission. We would just have an extended main engine cutoff time. However, we still have 4 good engines, all at maximum thrust right now, powering the first flight of Artemis at 5,200 miles per hour, 148 miles downrange.
Yeah.
We're 4 minutes and 16 seconds into the flight of Artemis I. So far, we've had a clean ascent. We saw those solid rocket boosters jettison about 2 minutes and 11 seconds after liftoff. Shortly after, we had the service module panels, fairings separate, as well as the launch abort system. The launch abort system was inert for this flight, except to perform this separation. Those 4 core stage engines will continue to fire and power the flight of Artemis I, now traveling over 6,800 miles per hour, 229 miles downrange. Booster flight controller reports that the engines are looking good.
Okay.
Our core stage main engine cutoff time is about 8 minutes and 3 seconds. We are now 5 minutes and 11 seconds into the flight, 7,656 miles per hour.
All right.
4 good core stage engines, those 4 RS-25 engines. The last time those core stage engines flew, they were taking space shuttles to orbit, and now with upgraded capabilities, they're launching the future of human spaceflight.
All right.
5 minutes, 42 seconds into the mission, we are now traveling 8,800 miles per hour, 345 miles downrange from the launch pad at Kennedy Space Center. Again, we are anticipating core stage main engine cutoff at about 8 minutes and 3 seconds. And about 10 seconds later, we'll see core stage separation, at which point Orion and the interim cryogenic propulsion stage will be flying free. Now traveling over 10,000 miles per hour, 6 minutes and 15 seconds into the flight of Artemis I, 427 miles downrange. Quiet here on the loops in Mission Control Houston. Teams continue to monitor this first flight.
Okay. We have
about a minute and a half now until that core stage main engine cutoff time. Our 4 core stage engines continue to fire maximum thrust.
yeah, baby. Oh, there was no Challenger disaster.
Coming up on 7 minutes since launch today, now traveling over 12,800 miles per hour, 563 miles downrange. Again, still quiet here in Mission Control Houston. As we prepare for main engine cutoff, the 4 RS-25 engines are beginning to throttle down. "30 seconds now until core stage main engine cutoff. All 4 engines continue to throttle down. Now 7 minutes 45 seconds into the flight, traveling over 16,000 miles per hour. Continuing to hear good calls here in Mission Control Houston. We're standing by for core stage main engine cutoff. And we have confirmation of core stage main engine cutoff. Orion is now in Earth's orbit. The flight dynamics officer reports that we have a nominal main engine cutoff. And we just heard the call for core stage separation. That means Orion and the interim cryogenic propulsion stage are now flying free from the core stage of the Space Launch System. The next milestone will be solar array deploy approximately 18 minutes after liftoff. But before Orion stretches its wings, let's check back in with our friends at Kennedy Space Center and hear all about what it was like to hear the rocket roar off the launch pad.
Wow.
I've got to hear all about it.
Well, if you're just joining us, welcome to NASA's Kennedy.
Okay.
Artemis I Launch, our first step towards our next adventure.
Turns out,
as Leah said, I'm NASA's Megan Cruz, and this is NASA.
Okay, so that's the launch. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you soon. Happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays. And I pray that you hope you have a really good one. Okay, bye.